Hello, hello. Faith Duncan, you must have got notified. Right on cue. Welcome. Good to have you here. Welcome. Just getting started here. Live on TikTok. You guys hear the music? Screwed that up the other night. Never again. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Austin Hamilton, also known as the Porn Coach. Where have I been? Where have you been? No, I've kind of toned down the lives just a little bit. I'm going live like 2 to 3 times a week now, as opposed to 4 to 5 times a week. I just can't deal with the extreme lack of sleep. So I'm an old man, you know. I'm an old man. These kids on TikTok, you know. But I'm here. I am here. I am here for it. I am here for questions. I am here for comments. I am here for debates. And I'm only going to be here till about 11. So that's about an hour and a half. Más o menos. It's not a hard fast. So, got to get that rest. Unpopular opinion of the night. Ready? Here it goes. Is self-pleasure cheating? I don't know. What do you think, John? What do you think? All right, if you guys want to share your opinion, share your story, maybe have you been betrayed by somebody who's watching pornography or has watched pornography? Maybe you love watching the pornography and you want to share about how much you love it, how often you do it. That's why it doesn't look. I need to put this other light on. Come on here. Go ahead and request. Hey there. What's going on?
Hey, I've been up here before. You probably see a lot of people, so you probably don't remember me, but I just wanted to know why you talk about porn a lot. I mean, I've seen your lives, a lot. So I was just wondering, why do you talk about porn a lot?
Because I'm a coach. I help people who want to stop watching porn. I help them stop watching porn, and I help people who have been betrayed by somebody watching porn or having an affair. So that's what I do.
So that's your job, like in outside of TikTok?
But inside and outside of TikTok.
Okay, what are you, a therapist, or how does that work?
I'm a coach, porn coach. That's the name.
Right, but how do you become a porn coach?
You wake up one day and you say, I'm a porn coach. And then you're a porn coach.
Oh, okay. So there's no like certification or licensing or like formal education that makes you a porn coach?
There are some coaching certifications. Most notably is IFC, ICF, International Coaching Federation, of which I've done certification programs through them before. But coaching really is just you one day you say you're a coach and then you're a coach.
Okay, I was just curious because it's a lot of time to dedicate to, talking about porn and it's a self-proclaimed position, I guess, or role.
Well, what do you do with your time throughout the day?
I work full time as a teacher, so that's what I do.
Yeah, everybody chooses different career paths.
Yeah. Do you have a negative view of porn? Do you feel like it? I mean, you say betrayed by those who watch porn, so you view it as a negative thing?
How would you define negative?
Well, you're saying that people may feel betrayed by it. That's kind of a negative feeling to be betrayed.
Could be. By definition, a betrayal is when somebody goes against what they agreed upon, when they betray you.
So would you say a couple who agrees that they can watch porn in their relationship is not a negative thing?
I wouldn't use the word positive or negative. I would say it's not a betrayal. If you've agreed that both parties are okay with watching porn, it wouldn't be a betrayal.
Can you tell me what a chuck husband is? Someone says I have a chuck husband. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea. You'd have to ask that person.
Oh, okay. So you would say that you don't have a positive or negative view on two people agreeing to watch porn?
I don't work in positive or negative. You keep trying to get me to say positive or negative. There's tons of data, brain science data that does indicate that porn has negative effects on the brain and relationships. But I mean, especially when I debate on TikTok, it's what are you guys agreeing to or not?
What kind of negative things does research say about porn?
It messes up the dopamine centers of the brain. So there's one study I cite frequently. I mean, it's been studied multiple times, but you take a look at the brain scan of a porn addict and a coke addict, and they look basically the same. So that would be a
Could people say
negative
that's the same
impact
thing
on the
with
brain.
TikTok? Could people say it's the same with TikTok because you have the dopamine firing, every 30 seconds or 1 minute on TikTok?
Yeah, yeah, similar from a neuroscientific
Okay.
standpoint.
So from a neuroscientific standpoint, porn wouldn't have any other difference on the brain than TikTok or, I mean, Coke, we see negative as, drugs, but I guess I'm not understanding why that would be a bad thing if you're getting more dopamine in your brain.
Have you studied what? Have you read the book Dopamine Nation, or studied what dopamine does to the brain, especially in the quantities that we're getting it on things like porn or TikTok, social media, and things like that?
No, that's why I'm wondering why that would be a bad thing to have a
Yeah,
lot of dopamine in your brain.
yeah. Well, I'd encourage you to read the book Dopamine Nation. I'm not a neuroscientist, so I can't answer intelligently on that. But the book Dopamine Nation is a fantastic book that goes into a lot of detail on that. If you're interested in reading more.
Someone's asking me if I'm slow for asking questions. If I don't understand why someone would be slow for asking questions. I think that's a you problem. But okay, so what's your general standpoint on porn? I guess what do you try to teach people about it?
What am I trying to teach people about it?
Yeah, I mean, you say you
I don't
spend
know.
your time being a
Why don't you
porn
stick around?
coach.
Why don't you stick around and find out?
Well, I'm just asking you directly.
I can go 10 million ways with that question.
Okay.
Well,
I
what are
mean, I'm
you trying
open
to
to
get out of
any.
this interaction right here?
I mean, I'm just curious why I see you a lot on TikTok and you just talk about porn all the time and you say you're a
Yeah,
porn
and
coach and I'm
that's the
just
first
wondering.
question. It's the first question you answered 5 minutes ago, and I answered it by telling you this is my job.
Right, and all I'm asking is what you're doing as a porn coach or how you generally see it or, just trying to get to know like where you're coming from as a porn coach and then you're telling me, "Well, just stick around and watch." And I'm saying, "Well, I'm just asking you." You don't I mean, it seems like you don't want to answer the question.
Do you have specific questions? It's like me saying, what do you do as a teacher? I mean, you can go a million ways with that. Sure, you could pick
Is
one.
there a
I
better
could pick one.
question that you is there a better question that you would want me to ask? I mean, that's the question I have. I don't have a more
All right.
specific
So what
question.
what was your question again?
I'm asking as a porn coach what your general standpoint on porn is and what you teach people. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. What you teach people about it.
Generally speaking, I think that pornography is not resourceful in a relationship. So generally, it brings people farther apart instead of closer together. Generally speaking,
Why do you think people watch it so much?
yeah, it's different for every person.
Well, I know that. I'm just asking why you think people watch it so much. Do you think it's because they're just unhappy in
To escape
relationships
reality,
or
to escape reality.
like the reality of their relationship? They're just not happy in their relationship?
Maybe. Got any other questions?
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering what people usually say about it. Like you say is you don't think it's generally a good thing that people are escaping reality from it in relationships. I mean, what would cause somebody to stop doing it? Like if they had a more satisfying relationship, would they stop?
It depends on the person, but typically not. The satisfaction of the relationship usually isn't what gets them to watch porn in the first place. There's something going on inside of them. Oftentimes loneliness, maybe depression, maybe anxiety. It just depends. All right. Any other questions? I'm going to move on. The chat the chat's wanting me to move on as well. So, any other questions?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're so upset. I mean, everyone comes up here with different questions and perspectives.
Do you want to ask them? Maybe get some feedback why they're saying that.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
All
They
right. She
just say
said yes.
bye.
So
So
chat. Tell her why. Tell her why you guys are wanting me to move on. Because you're upset.
because I'm
Because you're
being
being
aggressive.
aggressive.
Because I'm
Because you're rude.
okay. Okay.
Because the tone. She's aggressive, passive aggressive, aggressive and rude. So
I mean, is there a different like? How could I have asked these questions in a better way? Like they just don't like my tone and the way I'm saying it. Are people like usually sweeter about porn? I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? You want to hear from the chat what they think? Tone, wanting
Yeah, I
attention.
mean, it's just generally like about attitude, but I mean,
She's
that's
mad,
fine.
passive
People have.
aggressive, want her gone. Look,
I'm not
it's
passive
just
aggressive.
feedback.
I'm asking direct questions. I'm
Nobody
asking
said
direct
you're.
questions.
Yeah, it's just feedback. It's just
You
feedback. So
right, but you just said I was being passive aggressive and I
no, I
wasn't.
didn't.
People
No, I
are
didn't.
also saying that I was
No, I didn't.
fine.
No, we agreed that we would
Yeah.
solicit feedback from the chat, and I read their feedback. I didn't say you're passive aggressive. I read multiple comments that said you were passive aggressive.
Well, I'm not being passive aggressive. I'm just asking
I'm not
questions.
saying you
So,
are. I'm just reading the feedback. You can take the feedback
right.
or leave the
But
feedback.
some people
It's
are
no
getting
problem.
feedback saying that I'm fine and I'm not being rude. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess I don't know. Like I didn't think this was a very open conversation. I was asking, why you're a porn coach and why you do what you do, and you're
Do you want
like,
me
I
to
don't
answer?
know,
Do
be
you want
more
me to answer that
specific.
question again? I've answered it like 4 times.
Right, but you say the same thing every 4 times, right? Like I was trying to have a conversation and it sounds like you're saying like, well, it's just you have to be more specific or I already
Okay.
said it. So,
Thanks for sharing, Sam. Have a good night.
all right.
All right. Off to a great start, people. Never know what you're gonna get. Hey there, how's it going?
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me, can you?
I can hear you. Yeah, what's up?
Well, before we get into this, I just wanted you to know that I am 18. A lot
Okay.
of people ask for your name and your age and whatnot, so I just wanted to make sure that you knew that.
Okay.
With your topic that you have on your screen, I do believe that it is cheating because I don't understand why people would want to look at that while they're in a relationship, like you're laying beside the person that you're with. So why would you want to look at that whenever you have it right in front of you?
Have you been in a relationship where your partner uses it?
Yes, I have, and it completely destroyed our relationship. It is a very hard thing to talk about. He would compare me to everything that he's seen, and I did not like that. Like, it made me very insecure. Like, because most of the girls would have bigger butts and a tinier waist. It's not something that I think would be okay to have in a healthy relationship.
Yeah. All right. Are you still in that relationship with him?
No, I am in a healthy relationship now, and we have clear boundaries and everything like that. I am going to get married soon. I just, I just wanted to come up and agree with you on the topic, and also wanted to tell you that that last girl that you had on here, she was being passive aggressive and she was being majorly rude to you, and I really apologize about that. Because that is not okay just to come up on somebody's live and just straight up talk about your job and what you do. Like, if you want to know what you do as a job, if you're actually in like wanting to learn about it, then look it up yourself instead of coming at somebody for it. I don't think that was right.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
But yeah, I will let you get to the rest of your request boxes, and I hope you have a really great night.
Thanks, you too. All right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey there, yeah, what's going on?
Nothing much. So to answer the question on your screen, I don't necessarily think it's cheating personally. I mean, I've been in two relationships where the guys have done it, like used it, and I've used it, and I never felt any type of way that they looked at it. I don't know if that's just like a personal thing, because I think, I mean, porn in general, it's not really good for your mental health, if we're being honest. But I feel like it's two different feelings. Like if you're having sex with your partner and then you want to pleasure yourself, on your own time, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I don't know. I know a lot of girls say that's cheating, but I personally don't think it is. I just never felt like insecure or like, oh, you're looking at other people, just because I know it's not what's the word for it? Like it's not real, I guess.
Okay.
It's, if that makes any sense. I feel
What
like it just depends per
are
person.
you in a relationship?
I was a couple months ago.
Okay. When you're in a relationship, what's the agreement that you have with regard to, like what you guys are doing sexually or what you're committed to?
Like, what do you mean, like, like what
Like,
we do together, or like,
yeah,
can
like
you
do
elaborate?
you only have eyes for one another, or do you
Yeah,
agree that
yeah.
you okay. So
I
if you
mean,
only
there's
have
been
eyes for
part.
one another, how does pornography fit into that?
I mean, it's kind of like it's not really talked about, I guess, because like we do it on our own time, and we say it's not the most healthy thing to do, just because it does kind of fuck with your brain a little bit, or sorry, mess with your brain a little bit. But we never had an argument about it, now that I think about it. So
But
I don't
you
know.
said you kind of hide it though, right?
I don't want to. Well, I guess you could say that. I mean, I don't necessarily want to say I hide it. I just do it in my own time, because you can get pleasure from somebody else, but I feel like there's nothing compared to like the pleasure you give to yourself. I don't know if that's too deep or not, or if that sounds really really bad. I'm not sure. But we've watched it together multiple times, like in our relationship, and I think maybe that's why it's not something that we talk about or think it's cheating. I don't know.
hmm So how do you feel that if you're in a relationship or the relationship you were in, that your partner's watching presumably another woman have sex and they're getting aroused by it and masturbating because they like the feeling of watching that other woman or women? How does that make you feel?
I know this is gonna sound so bad. It doesn't bother me, because I
Well,
mean,
so why do you think that sounds bad?
well, I mean, just because a lot, I don't know. I think when it comes to stuff like that, maybe it's the girl being insecure, or maybe that's just her own boundaries. I mean, every girl should have their own boundaries. Just, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I'm looking at some of the comments, and they're saying it's cheating and it's wrong. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I mean, if I'm gonna be real honest with you, even like in the relationship that I was in, or just past partners, no man has been able to pleasure me the way I pleasure myself. And sometimes that's watching Pornhub or doing whatever. So that's just kind of, I kind of look at it as a sacred time to myself, even though I know porn is bad. But I don't know. I would like your take on that. Is that a bad way of thinking? Like, I don't,
Well,
you
my
know?
question would be, what's going on with you intimately to where you can, I think you said you can only do it yourself. You can only pleasure yourself by yourself.
Well, okay. Girls in the comments, I feel like I'm gonna get deep here for a second. I feel like a lot of girls will say that a guy has made them have an orgasm, this and that, and we be lying. I'm gonna be straight up, we be lying. And I maybe had one, or well, with my last partner I did, but other people I've been with, I've never been able to reach that point. So if I can do it myself and just have that time, then you know that's why I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, because a man a lot of men that I've been with, or even my friends, they're not able to really pleasure the girl in the way they want to be pleasured. They only think about themselves, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just feel like maybe
So
I'm
it's like
thinking crazy.
if you can't beat them, join them, huh?
Yeah, because a lot of times the guys don't really care about the woman's body. They just want to, get their little nut or whatever and keep it pushing. Maybe I've just not been in a great relationship. Maybe that's just a thing with me. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Well,
But it is bad. I will say that watching it is really bad for your mental health. But if my partner watches it, or I'm not going to be like, hey, you're cheating on me, like you're making me feel insecure, you know what I'm saying? I've just never been in a situation where like that really made me upset, and maybe that's just my own personal thing. I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Bye-bye. Give me a follow, guys, if you don't follow me already. Like and share. We're at 4,500 likes already. We'll be up to 10,000 soon.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hey there, what's going on? Yeah, so much background
Good.
noise. Can you fix that?
Oh, yeah,
It's like
sorry,
your
one
phone's in a
second.
blender.
Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not going to be able to, so I'll just leave.
All right, bye. Take your phone out of the blender, people. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's up?
Good, good. I just wanted to touch base on what she was saying. It is a sad thing that a lot of women don't get to experience that pleasure that they are looking for or deserve. There's a lot of selfish men out there, like she was saying. I've heard it time and time again. And the porn thing, like I'm an addict. I watch it constantly, and it does have an effect on the relationship. As much as women say that they're cool with it, that's it does become a factor later on. When you're up all night, you watch porn, and she's in the bed like that. She feels neglected, right? It's a sad thing, but again, it's an addiction. It's a mental thing.
Yeah,
So
so why do you watch it?
I don't know. I just like the female figure, and it's not that I don't love my girlfriend or want to pay attention to her. She's pregnant right now, and she's tired all the time, and I do my thing, you know. But again, I can't explain why. But why does anybody watch it? They got women at home. If they got a woman at home, why is anybody watching it? Right? It's not something that can be explained. It's a dopamine release.
Do you want to stop? Like, have you tried to stop?
No. I am what I am, and my habits are my habits. Like, I'm not really trying to change, but
No.
it's
So
it's,
you
it's
just
not that I don't love my
like
girlfriend.
resigned yourself to that's how it'll always be.
Well, it's not just porn. It's like sex and other things too, right? But yeah, it's a part of it. It goes with it. It keeps my mind occupied.
But you
Again,
said it's not good for you, right? Like it's not good for your mental health.
it's not bad for mine. It's just like not good
Oh,
for my partners.
oh, so you're doing
Right?
something repeatedly that's not good for your partner's mental health, and you haven't tried to stop it, and you don't even want to try to stop it.
It's not that I don't want to try. It's just like that's how I am. I have other addictions too. It's just we all have a
How is that
vice.
different than saying you don't want to try?
It's not saying I don't want to try. It's saying that's just what I accept, and she accepts it too. It's just I know it takes a toll at the end of the day on anybody, not just my relationship, but like in general, anybody
Yeah.
doing what there's a
Well,
lot more people out there like me. Uh,
well, I
it
got that.
takes a toll on the
I'm
partner.
just curious though if it would be better for your partner, why would you not want to try like strive to do something that would be better for her?
I don't hide anything. I came into the relationship full on honest and let it known.
I got that.
I come from a fucked up background.
Mhm.
That aside, a lot of trauma, PTSD, assault, rape, all that shit, like bad stuff. And these are my vices. Everybody has a vice, whether it's wine, Adderall, painkillers, something. Everybody has one. I just so fucked up that I have multiple, and that's just who I am, and I don't hide it. I let her know full on. I just wanted to chime in on her situation, what she was speaking on. I'm fucked up. I know it, but I was just trying to touch base like on her like pleasure and the orgasm, and how common that is for women. They fake it, but a lot of men don't please their women. I do. I go above and beyond to do that. Even though with my addictions aside, I go above and beyond to please my girl still. But I know it takes a toll on like relationships and shit eventually.
All right. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, I thank you for having me.
All right. Bye-bye. How are we all doing tonight? Hey there, what's going on? Cowboy Bunny Beep, what's up?
Honestly, I don't even know how I clicked this. I
Okay.
didn't think you would accept me in.
Okay. Are you 18 or over?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Okay. Well, do you want to go or do you want to talk?
Sure, I might as well. I'm already up here.
All right. Was porn cheating?
To me, yes.
Okay. Why is that?
I mean, y'all have already said all of the reasons, but I don't know. From personal experience, my ex would do it, and I told him I didn't like it, and that it made me uncomfortable because, like, you have me, so why do you need that, you know? I don't know. I'm not good with words, but I don't like it. I think that it's weird. Not saying I haven't ever looked at it. I'm not perfect, I'm human. But yeah, I definitely don't like it, and I think it's wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So when you found out your ex was doing it, how did you respond to that?
I don't remember exactly, but I did tell him that I didn't like it, and it became a whole argument, and he pretended to stop, but ended up finding it on his phone later, and he hadn't stopped.
That sucks.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that was one thing in our relationship that, kind of made it end. He said, well, if you would do stuff with me more, then I wouldn't have to watch it. And I'm like, we had other problems too, he was verbally abusive. He would call me every name, scream and yell at me, throw my stuff, break things, like crazy stuff. So I'm like, why would I want to do something with you after you've done that to me all day? You know?
It's a good
I
question.
mean, it's like nobody can be in the mood to do anything with you when you're like that.
Yeah. So do you have boundaries now going forward in relationships?
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know, I've talked to a few people, but it just comes to a point where I see that, guys my age don't want something real, and that's fine because we're young, and I have time, so I'm okay with that. I'm just trying to learn to love myself, and find what makes me happy, which is really hard. But I think that's what I need to do right now, and I don't mind talking to people, but it hasn't went very far, past the talking stage because they either just want one thing or they ghost you or they just play games. It's never anything serious, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I try
Well,
not to
good.
hold it over their head, but
Yeah, good for you. Focusing on yourself is really good for you, especially at this age and what you're dealing with. So that'll serve you really well.
right. I'm trying. It's hard, but I have a lot of trauma to move past.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you. I'll let you
All
go
right.
to the next person. I'm sleepy.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, like and share, people. 10,000 likes. Let's go. Let's go. Do I offer... Oh, Chell's with the Galaxy. Let's go. Chell's always coming through. Do I offer a biblical approach to this? I can, but typically my content is not faith-based, and I typically provide scientific data. But if you want a Bible verse, I can give you one. All right. There are so many people waiting in here. This is great. Can I please have some advice? Sure. Stop watching porn. Or if you're in a relationship with somebody who's watching porn and you're not married and you don't have kids, ask yourself the question, why am I still in this relationship? If it bothers you. If it bothers you. Put it all back on yourself. Okay. Should I don't know if I even dare try bringing on 4 guests at a time again. It never goes well. Hey there, what's going on, man?
How we doing?
I'm doing good. What's up?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just want to say, this is a really important topic. So this is my first time seeing your page, so it's really admiring seeing people actually talk about this because this is a really important topic.
Thanks, man.
I've got a couple perspectives on this, actually, just from personal experience. I've been in a relationship in the past where, the person I was with had this issue, so they didn't really push it as it being like a boundary, and we were young and still growing and things of that nature. So we both actually watched porn, and I didn't see it as a problem at the time just because it was one of those things where we were both doing it, so I didn't think it was a problem. But now that I've gotten older, I'm in a different relationship. I'm a lot older too, and this was something that came up at the very beginning of our relationship as a boundary from the jump. And I think now that I'm older and have thought about it more, I think it definitely is cheating. You're gaining pleasure from a separate person, even though it may be over a device rather than in person. But I still think that that's getting pleasure from something that's not within the relationship. So yes, I do think it's cheating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. And I think a lot of people, especially that I talk to, it's not a problem until it's a problem. And then, I'll have people oftentimes say something like you just did. I didn't think it was a problem. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this is such a problem, or was such a problem. So how old are you, man?
I'm 28.
Okay. When do you think you made that shift to thinking that it is a problem for you?
I think it really all began at the beginning of the relationship I'm in now, which was just over 2 years ago. My girlfriend now had an ex that had an extreme addiction to this, and she never had, dabbled into it or even enjoyed it at any point in her life. And it caused a lot of trauma for her in her relationship. It turned into this guy, subscribing to OnlyFans accounts at some point too, and causing really big, big issues. So she was just very upfront with me from the jump. She was like, "This is something I care a lot about, and if porn is something that you enjoy, then I personally am not going to be able to put up with that." So I was like, "Well, I'm really like this girl, and I want to pursue a future with her." So I was willing to put it to the side and never thought about it again. It's, it's not that easy for a lot of people, but it is a very captivating thing. It consumes a lot of people. So
For sure, man. Sorry. Excuse me. Good for you,
all
man.
good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're still with that person?
Yes. We've been together for a little over 2 years now, but I think that's the main thing from any side of a relationship is just establishing those boundaries up front. That way the expectations are set, and then if you feel like that other person isn't going to meet that expectations, then you get out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, being clear about it, having an open and honest conversation is super helpful in the beginning of a relationship.
I agree. And I know you had mentioned something about scientific facts. So just out of curiosity, I would like to hear them.
Yeah, so what I'm citing is the brain study that was done that shows the brain scan of a porn addict versus a coke addict, and they look pretty much the same. It rots your brain. It messes with the prefrontal cortex, the dopamine center of your brain. So that brain fog that people talk about, that's what they're talking about.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I know it's a very serious thing for a lot of people, but as someone who completely did away with it as I got older, I've never looked back. So
Yeah. Good job, man. Good for you. Thanks for sharing.
yeah, thanks for the show, man. I'm enjoying it.
All right, you got it, man. See ya. Give me a follow if you don't follow me already. If you like my content, I'd love to hear your biblical approach. Well, a wise man once said that if a man even looks at a woman with lustful intent, he's committed adultery with her in his heart. Matthew 5:27 and 28. California Mary, welcome. Oh, there's like 500 people here. Will you guys go to my profile and follow my... Hold on. Did I take it off? I think I might have taken it off. Now you got me all... Hey, for those of you saying like, pick me, I did take it off. Pick me. That drives me nuts, just so you know. That's like a great way for me to like mentally note, don't bring this person on. If you do want to get on here sooner rather than later, give me a gift that will catch my attention. Like Chels gave me a Galaxy, but she doesn't even want to come on. She just loves supporting me. So thank you, Chels. So give me a gift if you want to get on here sooner rather than later. If not, I'll just take you in order, which I don't know if this really keeps it in order. So, you know, like we'll bring this person on now. Hey, Bree, what's going on?
Not much. What about you? Sorry, I'll have background noise for just a second.
Okay. Like how?
Honestly, huh?
Like how many seconds?
Do you still hear background noise?
A little bit. It's better. We'll go with it.
I was just rolling out my window.
Hold on. I can't. There's too much. It's like you need a muffler on that car.
It's a truck.
Did someone
You
steal
can't hear
your
me at
muffler?
all.
No, I hear you, but I also
it's
hear
a truck. It's got a
lot of other
6
noise.
OLS in it.
All right. Can you request when you're somewhere else?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no
move
problem
on.
at all.
Yeah, it'll drive me nuts. All right, see ya. Dream Queen. See, there you go. That's how you do it. Do you want to come on here? Dream Queen. Now I got to find you in this list. There you are. Hey there, what's going on?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, yeah, what's up?
So, I don't know where to start. I was married for 3.5 years. I met what I thought to be was the most wonderful man on the planet, right? We're married for about 6 months into our marriage. I found out what he was doing. He was watching a bunch of porn. He consumed it so much to the point where I would be gone to the store for maybe 10 minutes and he would already have his phone out watching it. And he knew from the beginning that it didn't make me insecure, so it just made me feel inadequate. Like
Yeah,
I didn't do enough for him.
I mean, thank you for sharing that. And I'm sorry, but it's like when people are like, oh, what's the problem with it? That's the problem with it, is that when your wife leaves for 10 minutes, you can't help yourself but go watch other people's naked bodies on a phone. That's a problem.
Exactly. And he watched it so much, it got to the point it made things in the bedroom super weird. I'm not going to go into details, of course, but it made things super, super weird in the bedroom. He would request me to do a bunch of stuff that he would see these other girls doing. And then I saw the type of porn he was watching, and it was very physically abusive. And then about 1.5 years into our marriage, he started becoming physically abusive. I landed in the ER a few times because of what he was doing to me. And so that's the one thing that I absolutely despise with porn is I notice that it makes a lot of people like super angry and like super rough and just abusive.
Yeah. 88% of porn scenes depict acts of physical violence and aggression. So you wonder why people do these things to a person, whether it's in the bedroom or not, because that's what they're doing in their private life. That's why what we do in our private life matters, because how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yep.
And so if that's what you're doing, if that's what you're learning about how to treat a woman or a partner, that's going to manifest in real life. Not always, but oftentimes it'll head in that direction. So that really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
And we have a son as well, and we're divorced now, of course, and everything. I'm with a new person. But I asked him one day, I'm like, so when our son is old enough, to hear the birds and bees, how are you going to instruct him on how the birds and bees work? And he said, oh, I'm just going to pull up Pornhub and show him Pornhub. So I'm like, okay, so you're going to feed my son something so unhealthy that he's going to have an unrealistic outlook on sex. So when he does have his first sexual experience, he's going to be expecting all these crazy things, and then he's going to start, like, it's the beginning of an addiction, in my opinion, because he's not going to be satisfied.
Yeah, man, that's terrible. And so, oh man, I don't even know what to say. Right? What can you do in that situation?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I know you can go have a different conversation, but
Right. I think there's just a more respectful way to tell somebody how it's done and everything, of course. And me, I'm a Christian, and that Bible verse that you mentioned, I live by that every single time I date somebody. If I saw they were always checking out other girls, I'm not insecure, baby. I just don't like the fact that you have wandering eyes, because wandering eyes turns into something more down the line, 10 years in the marriage, 20 years in the marriage. It can turn into physical, because wandering eyes isn't going to just stop at wandering eyes.
yeah, yeah. How old is your son?
He is currently 8.
Okay. Are you familiar with the book called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures?
I am not.
So it's a really good book. There's a junior version geared towards ages 3 to 7, and then the normal version is geared towards ages 8 to 11. And it's a book that teaches you, basically a parent can read it to their kids to talk to them about pornography and the dangers of it. I would highly recommend that book. Now you got a tough thing if assuming you're splitting custody of your kid and this is what your ex is saying he's going to do. Gosh, that's a big problem. You have an opportunity though to get out ahead of that. It's called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. It's linked in my bio if you go to the resources page. Yeah, and many people now in the therapy world are saying that that's sexual abuse to show kids porn.
Oh, I believe it is, because it's just like, let's say him and his new girl, like if he walked in and it's just like, it's technically the same thing except for it's in person. That's my opinion. It makes me very upset when people watch it, like people I used to date or whatever, because I see how bad it can turn. It can land people in the ER.
Totally, yeah. Well, I'm sorry you went through that, and you're still dealing with that, and you will have to deal with that, given that you got a kid with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I got to go to the bathroom. Give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already. I didn't think I was going to be able to hit this tonight, but I'm almost to 30,000 followers. I only need like 44 more. So will you guys follow me? If you don't follow me already, if you like my content, if you don't like my content, give me a follow anyways. Maybe you can come back and argue with me sometime. Sam, you still there? Did you follow me? I'll be right back. All right. All right, we're almost there. Need like 20 more. Thanks for following me. All right, Kit Kat, did you want to come on? If you guys want to get on here sooner rather than later, give me a gift that catches my attention. If you give me like a little gift, it just doesn't pop up high in my list. So like right now, I'll only see a gift that's over like 300 coins. But if I scroll down, Rebecca, Tally. I wish this would organize people. If I'm missing you, I apologize. Whatever, I'll just bring someone on. I like the biblical approach. However, if you wait till marriage, what do you do in the meantime? Well, here's the question, or here's a question I would ask you is, or maybe I would tell you, masturbation and watching porn while masturbation are distinctly different acts. It is possible to masturbate while not looking at porn. I'm not suggesting that masturbation is the answer, but I'm offering to you that you can masturbate while not watching porn. I don't think that that's the ideal, but have you thought about it from that perspective? How often do you go live so I know when to be here? 2 to 3 times a week, typically in the evenings, but I'm going to change that schedule and come on earlier in the day. Thanks for that gift. That was really cool. Who sent that? Cheeky Geek. That caught my attention. See? And it was only worth 1 coin? It would definitely still hinder. Again, Krista, I'm not suggesting that that's a good route. Most people are saying that as a way to justify their porn. So I'm trying to like taper them down from that. Hey, let's just recognize you could masturbate while not watching porn. Not that I think that's a great idea. But let's just like think about this logically first. Hi there, Cheeky Geek. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good.
What's going on?
No, I just I wanted to talk about this whole situation. It's messy.
All right, let's talk about it.
I don't think it has to be that messy, though. I think every relationship is totally unique, and that's something you have to talk about with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
sure.
what it all comes down to, is like, what do you and your partner value? And like, what are your boundaries? Because some partners aren't even just the two of you. Some people are, poly, and some people are, all those things. So like some people have people outside of the relationship, and that's okay with them. So everybody sets their own boundaries, and that's what values they have personally. My partner and I, we have very high libido, so we go, if I'm busy, sick, or just don't want to do something, he goes and takes care of himself. And if he's busy, sick, or doesn't want to do something, I go take care of myself, and that's our thing.
Mm-hmm. And when you say take care of yourself, I'm assuming that you're talking about watching porn while doing that?
Sometimes. It's just another tool. We look at it as just another tool sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So you guys in your relationship, you're okay with using other people for your sexual pleasure?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's agreed upon.
And that's agreed upon.
Mm-hmm. So it's not cheating.
So it's not cheating. It's about like what you're comfortable with doing with each other. Because again, like there's other ways to quote unquote use other people. You can have 3 ways. You can do all sorts of other things to use other people. And is that cheating? If you've agreed upon it, no.
It wouldn't be cheating if you've agreed upon it. Like if you're in a poly relationship and that's the agreement, then it wouldn't be cheating. But
No.
if you have an expectation that it's just you and the other partner, then it would be.
Exactly. So have you agreed upon it? Have you laid that foundation of trust? Mm-hmm. Are you doing what you need to be healthy and communicative? Then no.
All right.
It's
Thanks for sharing.
a tool. Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye. Charles, we're just going to let that one slide. All right. How many more followers do I need? I'm just about to hit 30,000. What's up, D? What is up, D? 15 more followers and I'll be at 30,000. Give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already, if you like my content. I do have the Seth Rogen voice. I've been told that many times. California Mary. Oh, you always make me laugh.
Hey,
What's up?
Austin.
What's up,
You don't get
California
to
Mary?
have gifts from me because I just lost my job. So
Oh,
if I
no.
have to give a gift to come up, I don't get to come up anymore.
What happened?
Oh, they so-called, I was on a short medical leave and they so-called eliminated my position, but I got an attorney on it, so it's all good now. But
Okay.
it's a bummer on a little
Yeah.
bit of a level. But I just want to say I can't give you a gift right now, but when I get a job,
Yeah.
I will.
Great. No
That's
problem.
all I
What's
wanted
up?
to tell you.
That's all
Nothing,
you wanted to
nothing.
tell
I'm
me?
just listening. Yeah, I'm just listening.
You wanted to come on to tell me that you couldn't.
There's some
you couldn't give me
interesting things, but I would like to say you had like 500 people in the live a minute ago, and now there's 354. What did you do to scare them off?
It always starts off really, really high, and then
Oh, it does?
yeah, people tend to go away after a while once they realize that I'm not here just to speak over people and argue. Although I do like arguing. Actually, I don't know why people leave. Maybe you guys tell me why you go away, but
I think it's
I don't know.
because the caption's catchy, so they check it out, and then they realize that it's deep, and a lot of people can't do deep.
Yeah, and then they realize
Yeah.
that I'm pretty logical in my arguments, and then they're
Right.
like, "Oh, dang it, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get them."
Yeah, this isn't going to be obnoxious, darn. I'm going to
Yeah.
another live.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well,
Okay,
thanks for
I'll
sharing.
just be listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye bye. Okay. Should I add more people? I'll do that. Let's do that. We'll add. Here we go. I'm just gonna scroll down the list and add 4 people. Let's see what happens. This never goes well. Hello, people. Everybody talk at once. Let's see what happens.
Hello.
What's going on?
Nothing.
All right, Audrey Grace, you're the only one that's actually here, so talk to me. Is porn cheating?
I just feel like if you're with somebody, you shouldn't have any desire to look at anyone else in that way.
Okay.
So how do you feel about it? I'm new here, so
I think that that's a great thing to strive to live towards in a relationship. Is that if you're committed to another person, that's it. We shouldn't be looking at other people.
right.
Shikani,
feel
I
like all of
basically
your
am a marriage
sexual needs
counselor.
and all that
I'm a
should
coach.
just come from who you're with.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
like
simple,
that
huh?
other girl was saying though, if you're both comfortable with that, then I mean, like I don't know. I guess maybe it's not cheating then.
Yeah. It wouldn't be cheating, technically.
But there is emotional cheating, like, as well. Even though I guess that's technically not, like, emotional because you're just watching that, it's still, like, some form of cheating.
Yeah. All right, let's get some other people in here. What do you guys think?
Hi. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of new here, but I saw your live and I honestly was expecting somebody on here to be like live talking about why it isn't cheating and like defending it, I guess. So I'm just really
That's,
glad that
yeah, that's not me, but stick around. You'll get some guests that I argue with.
well, I'm glad that there's like a platform and like a space for people who like I don't know, think it is cheating because honestly there isn't that much out there for people who have felt victimized by like their partner's porn consumption is like the best way I can describe it. But I don't know, my personal history with it is just like I was in a relationship for 2.5 years with this person who like was very odd sexually, I guess, like just made me feel very inadequate and like undesired. And I didn't even know that they were watching porn until like one day it came up in conversation and they were like, yeah, I watch it like all the time. And I was like, whoa, what? That was so weird to me because, and I've had this horrible response to it where I felt so like triggered by that answer. And for days, I was crying and upset over this, and I didn't know why I was so upset. And I was like, well, they're watching these other people, they're like getting gratification from these other people. That's awful, but they're not in love with these people. And they are hopefully in love
Hold
with
on.
me. So
Who's
that's
snoring? Was that a person or a dog? Who's snoring? Is that ACJ mom?
I think it is. I seen her mic move a little bit.
ACJ mom, did you request and fall asleep? Hello? Hello? ACJ mom, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Okay, well, I'm just going to be here for it. Sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
oh, that's totally okay. I think it is ACJ mom that's
This has happened before, but we hear everything here. This has happened multiple times before, and we're just going to go with it because they'll wake up at some point. As long as we don't hear like baloney slapping together, we're good.
Oh, right. Well, I was just trying to level with myself, and I was like, hopefully they're in love with me. They're not in love with these people in porn or, whatever.
I'm not going to mute
But
here. We need this right now. Keep going.
I still just felt very like triggered by this, and I even like took a free online course about like how to become more comfortable with like porn and like porn consumption, and like I was trying everything I could.
How to be more comfortable with it?
Yes, literally, like it was like how to have like an ethical like relationship with porn and like all of this shit. And because I took it on myself, and I was like, there's something wrong with me for not being okay with this. And
I
that's
feel
why
like you shouldn't have to try to make yourself okay with it, though. If you're not, you're just not, and that's totally fine.
Right.
Well,
thank
props to
you.
whoever made that course. Hey, I'm going to teach a course on how to be comfortable with the fact that your partner's cheating on you.
Exactly. So I didn't know what to do, but now basically that's all to say that I'm very grateful for this space and that my experience was horrible, and now I am in a relationship with somebody who does not watch porn, who loves me and does not make me feel inadequate or undesired ever. So
Yeah, that's good. Gosh, that's some aggressive. Guys got sleep apnea. I want to. This book is fantastic. The Betrayal Bind. I'm sorry, I can't. Let me ask you a different question. Are you? I'm not going to boot her. Maybe later. This is too fun for me.
I hope she just wakes up.
I know. I hope it's her husband or something, or boyfriend or whatever. This book is called The Betrayal Bind: How to Heal When the Person You Love the Most Hurts You the Worst. So it's obviously hitting from partner betrayal trauma, which is the trauma that a partner experiences after they discover that there's been a betrayal.
that's what I needed. I didn't need this
This
course.
is what
I
you needed. You
that.
didn't need something that says how to be okay with your partner's porn use. Who taught that course?
Yeah.
Satan?
I can't remember. It was an Instagram page, and I have since unfollowed them, but I have it all written down somewhere. However, I'm glad that I have since grown past that feeling that everything is my fault.
Yeah.
It was obviously not a healthy relationship.
Well, it's definitely not your fault. Okay, and that's what most betrayed partners do. Oftentimes, most women do is they say there's something wrong with me, the way I look, what I'm doing in bed, what my personality is like, and then they go to great lengths to try to change all that. But that's not the problem. It's the man or the betrayer trying to fill some sort of pain in their heart that's causing them to turn to pornography, which is a maladaptive coping strategy for dealing with life. Porn and sex addiction is not a porn and sex problem. It's a how you deal with life problem. It is not your problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. Yeah, the book is called The Betrayal Bind. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as couples coaching and group coaching, both for men dealing with porn or sex addiction and women dealing with betrayal trauma. If you're interested in hearing more about what I do, you can go to link in my bio and schedule a call with me or join one of my groups. And that book is from Amazon. All the books that I recommend are linked in the resources page in my bio. And I need 6 more followers to get to 30,000. Can we do it? Can we do it? If you don't follow me already, will you follow me? All right. Did Melaine, did you say anything yet? Do you want to say anything? You here? Tweehard, were you the one talking before?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to kick that other person. All right. This snoring is amazing. Oh, I'm so happy for this. Yeah, 2 people sleeping. There's like 50 people waiting, 36 people waiting to get on here. I wonder how many of them are sleeping. Oh, California Mary. I'll get you in a second. Little Burrow, what's up? 30,000, let's go. Guys, we did it. Thank you. We did it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Charles, I appreciate that. Little Burrow, are you there? No, okay. All right, I'm gonna kick you guys all off and bring on a new panel. Okay, thanks for sharing.
All right.
Come back if you want. See ya.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should we just listen to the snoring for a little bit? Do you think it's a man or a woman? AC, you there? Hello.
Okay. Well,
What's up,
first of
Mary?
all, I want to say that she's a mom, obviously, and she's exhausted. And I think
Yeah.
it's a she. And I think she didn't know you were pulling her up because in between waiting, she fell asleep. But I want to say something about the people that are coming up today. I think it's interesting that I think it's interesting that people have, such open minds talking about depends on the couple and if you have an agreement. But I feel like, Jesus Christ, how far are you going to open your mind before your freaking brain falls out? Like, like, you have to understand what I guess I don't agree with all these different kinds of relationships because that's what opens up the market for all this stuff. And I think it's dangerous. So
Yeah.
like
Hey,
all these people are like, oh, if there's an
Mary,
agreement.
can you hold that thought? Somebody
Yeah.
had a great idea to play an alarm noise.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
so I just looked up this annoying noise playlist.
Poor person.
Guys, turn down your volume if you don't want to hear annoying stuff.
Oh, that's scary.
That's scary.
No, she's dead. She's out.
Oh, baby's crying. This'll get her.
Yeah.
AC, you there?
Where?
Are you there, AC mom?
She woke up though.
She woke up and turned it off.
She did. It was very good. That is really cool.
AJC, you there?
She muted herself.
She did.
She did because she heard the babies.
It worked. We did it.
And that's who had her knocked out. That is so interesting. They talk about a mother's ear.
She's
That's
got the
real
and
shit.
she just turned it off. Hey, AC, I'm glad you got off.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
We were worried about
You're
you,
a great
girl.
mom. You're a great mom.
But at
You can
least-
sleep through
yeah.
anything, but not a crying baby.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
was
loving life right now. That's funny.
Okay.
It's funny because anybody else would have straight booed him right away.
Yeah, no,
You-
I'm here
You
for
had
it.
to. Yeah,
Look,
you.
I
You were there.
recognize her name. I'm pretty sure I've talked to her before or seen her in the comments.
Yeah, she'll probably be back.
Yeah, she'll probably report my
He's
account
checking
now.
on the babies right now.
That
I
what an
hope.
amazing mom. I mean, props to her.
Yeah.
Right? She slept. She didn't
Yeah.
wake up for a siren, a tornado warning,
No.
a chainsaw, but the baby's crying. They got her.
We should have somebody screaming fire. You know what somebody told me the other day when I walk alone out at night? They told me, if somebody attacks you, don't scream help or nothing because nobody's coming. Scream fire.
Yeah, and then someone
So
will come
then,
and go.
because it might think it's their house, so they're coming.
All right. So what were you saying, Mary? Before we did
I was
that?
just saying that it's just so interesting. Everyone, I get kind of a slightly teensy bit perturbed when everybody's on here going, "Oh, it depends on how everybody's agreements are and this and that." And I feel like, oh, if they're open-minded to it, but it's like, where does it end? Where does the line get drawn when you're in a relationship and everyone's got their mind so dang open? It's like all of a sudden now other people are in the relationship. It's like it can go on and on.
Yeah.
It can
Well,
keep going.
totally. I mean, that the question is porn cheating. That's just a conversation starter, right?
Yeah.
So but you're exactly right. It's like what I try to do here is what do people actually believe about this stuff, about how they view their relationships.
Right. And the thing
I'm
too
not
is
going to say
that,
they're right or wrong, but it's just
well, I'm
fascinating.
not trying to say they're right or wrong either, but I just think that it can just go so far. Like you could be the person that says, "Oh, I don't mind if you watch porn. Okay, whatever. It's all good for our relationship." But then when the person doesn't get restricted from doing that, they don't get, not restricted, but they can do that. Now that's nothing to them. Now they're moving on to something bigger and more hurtful and more dangerous.
Yeah, totally. All right, I'm let some other people here on. What's going on, guys?
Not much.
Hi,
What's up, Cody?
can you hear
Is
me?
porn cheating? Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Is porn cheating?
Okay, can I share 2 points?
Sure.
So the first point is that I think for ladies need to understand that men are not saint. So they most
Men are
probably
not.
have watched
Men are not
porn.
what?
They are not saint. Saint. So they
Saint?
most
What-
probably
hold on. What?
They're not a saint. They're not a saint.
Oh, they're not a
saint. Sorry,
saint.
maybe my pronunciation.
SAINT.
Okay, I got
That's
it.
right. So they are not saint. And anyway, I'm from Singapore. Okay, I don't know
That's
where you
okay.
are from, but I'm from Singapore.
Yeah.
So I think that first women need to understand that men are not sane, especially the men that they are dating. They most probably has watched porn since, I don't know, 14, 15 when they had a reaction, right? Or whatever. I don't know how early they are aged when they exposed to porn.
Most
So,
men
but-
are exposed to pornography by the age of 13.
Yeah.
That's
So-
not an excuse.
So no, it's not an excuse, but it's a reality that girls cannot change. So I find it amazed by women who were like, "Oh my God, you're watching porn." It's like this is a norm that it has happened since 13 when they are 13. So why are the ladies being shocked? That's my first question, right? So I'm not giving them excuses. I'm just saying that this has been something that is happening, and it's good to know that as a woman that this is not something new in their life. It's just that they don't share it, but by now we should know that this is something that they watch since 13. I'm a mom. I caught my kids watching porn. I was thinking of how to react differently, right? And,
Well, yeah, but the
yes.
question is, what do you do with that, right?
Yeah,
If and
so
when
I
you
told- I
discover
told-
that they're
okay,
watching
so now
it.
this is so now first I address to the women is that porn is not something surprising. It's just that you do not know doesn't mean that it wasn't happening. So that's point one. So now I want to address to the man. I don't know how many men is in this group, but the man is, I always tell the guys is that I told my son this. I says, you want to watch porn, you cannot, it's like how you watch a horror movie. Some people watch a horror movie will keep thinking about it. Somebody watch a horror movie will watch it like an advertisement, will the advertisement will pass your mind, you will not think about it. So if you need to, you have to watch porn as a passing phase that you don't even remember. Because what man does is that when they watch porn, they get so intrigued by the whole thing, it capitalizes them in their mind. They have to repeat the whole visual
So
purposes in
you're
their
so
minds. That
so you basically tell your sons to watch porn? Am I
no,
hearing
I
you
don't
correct?
tell him to watch porn. I don't tell him to watch porn, but there's so much that parents can do, really. I can
Well,
block.
do you
They
think
can
do you think
change.
it's healthy for your children to watch porn?
No, no. That's why, you see, because I know that I cannot stop him, so I have to tell him how he can do it differently. Okay. Of
How
course,
can you
if
do it
I could
differently?
cancel, yeah, that's what I just said.
You said like watch it like a horror movie. Like
No,
we watch
Oh,
horror
got it.
movies and
no,
we
no,
let
like
go. We
no,
let go
like
of what we
example.
watch.
So some people watch horror movie. Okay, example, I'm a visual person. And when I watch a horror movie, I will think about it all day, all night. So if you're a visual person and you do that, don't watch porn. If you can, or you can, sometimes you can watch certain shows and you don't remember the shows and the storylines and everything. I think it's okay. Okay, don't fault me, don't judge me yet. Okay, let me continue. So it's how you how you remove the thoughts in your mind. Because if you don't remove the thoughts in your mind, that's how you repetitive. Okay, so this is second point. The third point is to men, is that pornography, all the genre inside, is the merchant, the porn industry is right, propaganda to make all sorts of genre to attract you. And it's not a game. I say it's not a game. So all the men, please know, it's not a game. You do not need to pass every level and clear every level to be up there in the utmost game level. Because the more you go up there, you cannot be vanilla again. So don't put yourself in a position, and this is the danger of porn. You put yourself out there.
All right. So
you
so
only
what's your
open
point?
yourself to. My point is that it has to be broken down into different contexts. So my point to men is that if you open yourself into many of this desire, then you want to fulfill them. Then that's when it affects a relationship. If all you watch is, example, threesome, then you always think that your girlfriend is not good enough. You wanted to try more. So that is the danger of porn. Don't go there.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so another thing is that what is the impact in a relationship when you are only so fixated in the porn that is in your mind, you cannot be present to your sexual partner. You are not present to your sexual partner. So you keep repeating doing the same thing. Do this first, then do this. Do this first, then do that. And then it became boring. Women know when it's boring. Women know when you are just typical following through
So
steps of methods. So don't
so
do that. This will impact the relationship.
so
Right.
should men watch porn?
Of course, okay, so why I bring back the first statement. Women, you must know that men needs that. I always say that men is very simple and they only need sex from the beginning when they're 13 all the way to their death. If the man who
No, they're
if the
not
man
simple. They're not
oh,
simple.
they,
They don't
they
need to be
are
simple if they are.
simple. So if the
But they
women
could be simple,
is
but
using sex,
they could not be simple too.
if the woman is using sex as a bait to get married, to make them feel they are chosen to be a wife material, they are a good girlfriend to get married, and eventually they drop the sex part. The women phase of life, right, changes, and the sex for the men dropped. And that's where men will go into such places. I always believe that a man that is fat will not want to eat outside. So if you do not feed your man in a marriage, okay, I'm not talking about you try to be a sexual partner to a boyfriend, because that doesn't give you guarantee and that doesn't give a woman security. So I'm not talking about that one.
I actually want to add on that. I just want to know if you are sexual with your partner, if you are pleasing them in every way, why are they still watching porn?
No, are you married or not married?
No, I'm with someone, and I had recently found out that they are a porn addict by looking at their phone. So that's a betrayal on my end. So I don't know a lot about it, or if they could even heal from that themselves.
Okay, so most of these porn addictions, right, they usually comes from a childhood hurt, a childhood
Yes.
wounds.
Yes, that's where
And
he
all
told me that
addictions, it's not just porn. All addictions, it could be smoking, it could be biting nails. If you see your man is biting nails, that is also a very big. It's similar. It's just different. They all have some form of addiction that they do not know. It's like what this gentleman said. It's a mechanism. That they defend themselves of how they get
Maladaptive
out.
coping
So
strategy.
it's a coping. Thank you. It's a coping strategy.
I
Or
think
some
the
of them is
question is,
avoidance.
do they masturbate while biting their nails, though? That's the important question.
Yeah, I think okay, all this whatever, right, including porn, right, is what makes them feel good. What makes them feel good is what they go for. Some have already went to a point of addiction to just indulge in porn, but if they can find another alternative, that will drop. I have not tested. I do not know statistics, but that's what I would like to believe, lah.
I
Okay,
think
all
they're
right, Cody.
lacking
I want
intimacy.
to hear from Cody.
Mm-hmm.
I think
What's
so.
up, bro?
I think it's cheating.
Okay,
I think it's
thanks.
cheating.
Simple man, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't, fulfill yourself with your wife, then why are you with her?
Right.
Like,
So
it's cheating. It's cheating.
if I can
Period.
share a little bit of my side, I mean, I feel that with talking with my partner, I feel that he is satisfied with me. At least that's what he tells me, that he is satisfied with me, and I do feel that I can give him
He
that side. But
can't be
I
satisfied if he's still doing it. That's not how
Right.
satisfaction works. When you're satisfied, you're full. You can't take any more. It's cheating.
You're done.
can they still be healed from that?
Yes,
Yes.
if they stop watching, you just stop. It's
And
like any addiction.
what would
The
you
more
say?
you do it, the more addicted you become. Stop doing it.
What reassurance would you say that I would need to know that he is done watching it?
Open and honest communication.
When he stops watching it and says, "I've stopped watching it,"
You should be doing it for him.
if you
Not
don't
for anyone
believe,
else.
if you don't believe that he stopped, and you're feeling like that, yes, he's cheating. If he's not fulfilling himself with you, he's cheating.
I still feel sometimes he does watch it and that he lies to me.
Have you asked him if he watches it?
I do, and just a couple of days ago, I have asked him if I could go through his phone, and he told me he forgot the passcode to his cell phone number until I lost my shit, and then like 15 minutes later, he finally gave it to me.
He left the room and then magically remembered the password 15 minutes later and gave it to you?
Yeah.
What do you think he did in those 15 minutes?
Well, no, he didn't leave the room. He just didn't want to give me the passcode. And he didn't want me to look through his phone myself. He just told me,
I
tell
think
me
that's
where
a
to go.
boundary.
What was that?
I said, I think that's a boundary he was trying to set. That's his phone. Why are you going through it? Do you not trust him?
No, because of previous things that we have been through.
So why continue to entertain him?
Right. If he's lying, he's lying.
Because he's the father. He's the father of my son. Yeah, we have a son together.
I'm sorry, but that's just the way that it is. If he's gonna lie to you, then why? Why continue to put yourself through that stress?
Are you guys married?
I am
No.
married.
I'm not married.
Okay.
I've been married for 8 years.
Okay.
Wow, that's awesome.
So Anna,
I love to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, good job, man. Anna, it's about communication, right? Like if you're asking him, the way that you know is you ask him, and then you trust your intuition on if he's telling the truth or not. A woman's intuition is rarely wrong, in my experience.
I agree 100%, and I'm all about communication. And I have a lot of things that I say as well. I'm 30 and he's 24. I met him when he was 19. I was 27. So I don't know if age difference has a lot to do with that. And 3 months in, we got pregnant right away. So having a baby that early, it was a lot of responsibility from the both of us.
Did you communicate that to him?
Yes, I tell him all the time.
And he still doesn't change?
He has, but I still feel that he lusts over a lot of women.
So you feel like it's cheating, yeah?
Yeah, I feel like I physically can't give him a lot because I feel that he looks at maybe younger women. It's just a lot of comparison. And I know it's a lot of red flags and it sounds dumb as I'm saying it. You would think, like, yeah, just leave him. But it's hard for me.
It's a difficult situation. I'm sorry.
So what do you want? What do you want to be different, Anna?
I'd want him to change. I mean, we've talked about getting closer to God. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It just sounds like I should leave, but I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. What's coming up for you right now?
I'm not sure.
Don't make no life choices based on what we say. If you're happy, be happy.
Right.
Don't let nobody else ruin that.
But I'm not, just because there's no trust. And I've told him this so many times, and I try to ask for reassurance, and he gets mad at me, and it turns into an argument, and things get said here and there. And
Anna, have you ever heard Austin's story?
no, I actually was just scrolling on TikTok until I saw his porn cheating. So,
Oh, I think it's important. I mean, I'm not the one to tell his story, but to hear Austin's story, because he really brings a different light to how much a man can be a man.
Here's the thing, Anna, is there's more available for you for your life, is my assertion. How do you get to that? I don't know. I can share part of my story if you think that would be helpful. But for you, there's two things at play. He can change, and or you can stop tolerating what you're currently tolerating. That's the path here. You can put your foot down and stand in your power and say, I will not tolerate this anymore. Something must change. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
yeah, no, I know. I let him know that I can't force him to do things, I just keep trying.
And when you can't change a situation or another person, we always can only change ourselves. So the question is, how can you find your voice? How can you stand in your power? How can you create boundaries? How can you create a plan on how to move forward? I don't know what the right answer is for you. I mean, I won't tell you to stay or go. I don't know what the answer is. But it sounds like things aren't working for you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just scared to leave. I think anybody would be, I have a lot of fear of moving on, and what if I find someone else and they have addictions or they're worse, or, because I love love. I want to get married. I want to have a big family, and I feel like time is clicking for me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do what I can to make it work with my family now.
Yeah.
And if he's not making any changes, I don't know what the next step is.
Yeah.
And I know that I need therapy myself. I have a lot of trauma. Talking about it makes me tremble.
Yeah.
Every time I touch his phone, I get PTSD, it feels like. And he doesn't reassure me by keeping his passcode from me.
Yeah. Have you worked with a therapist before?
I've tried to get into it, but never really fully committed.
How come?
But I know I need it.
What gets you to the point of trying but not really committing yourself to it?
It gets expensive, so
Yeah,
I prioritize other things than
That's the
that.
truth.
that's true.
The
And
only
Yeah,
thing I'm
that's
committing
very
to
true.
as of now is getting closer to God.
hmm
So I've been being more committed with that.
hmm yeah, yeah, it does cost a lot, and it also costs a lot to not do therapy, to not move forward, to not find your voice in this.
Yeah, and it's hard because Monday through Friday I have the same routine with my son. So that itself gets really overwhelming. Going to work, coming back, going to the gym, washing dishes, cooking dinner. It gets very
Yeah.
repetitive.
Totally. Yeah.
So I get overwhelmed with that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of possibility, Anna, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and you don't have to tolerate what you're dealing with. You can try different things that are going to help change your situation. And therapy or some sort of one-on-one work is probably going to be part of that equation for you. And whether he decides to get on the wagon with you or not, that's up to him. You can't force him to. But
Yeah.
it's always worth it in my experience to work on yourself, to better yourself, and whether he wants to get on the train or not. You can't force that.
Yes, I agree.
Um, check out the book, The Betrayal Bind. It may be helpful for you. It will be helpful for you if you read it. I was trying to find this line. Healing from betrayal trauma is not a linear process. It's not like here are the steps to heal from betrayal trauma. It is hard and it takes time. However, there's this line in here that I went through this week, and I'll find it eventually. What's this it? Oh, here we go. For these reasons, betrayal trauma treatment focuses on helping us move out of powerlessness into a state of personal empowerment. Learning to set boundaries, manage our trauma symptoms, shift our mindset and core beliefs, find and use our voice, and ask for what we need are all part of effective treatment. But notice it's all about you finding that empowerment, being empowered to move forward courageously into something new for your life. And that's going to be a hard process, and you're probably going to need some people that can come alongside you in that journey. Is that a therapist? Is that, somebody that's part of your faith community? You said you have some trauma to work through. It's scary, Anna. It's really scary. But it's worth it. What are you feeling right now, Anna?
Overwhelmed.
Okay.
I mean, I know the right answer would probably be to leave him, but I'm just scared. It's a lot of fear
Yeah.
because I feel like he won't change. Because we've been at this for so long already. We've been together for 5 years. And he's always had this addiction even before we were together. I just didn't know how severe it was. And
Yeah.
finding other stuff as well. He's a personal trainer, so I found other stuff in between there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
I just wanted to say sorry one more time and say thanks for letting me come up. Thank you. And sorry.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Cody.
No problem.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to move on to a different to clear out the panel here. Are you feeling okay, Anna?
No, I'm not okay, but I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Okay. Well,
But
do you have
thank
any?
you.
Yeah. If you have any support, the people you can reach out to, I'd encourage you to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sharing. Signal, did you say anything?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I think you have a great broadcast
Hey,
here.
hey, real quick. I'm still listening. I got to go to the bathroom. Mary, you're in charge for a minute, okay?
Sure.
Oh, she's not even there. Go ahead. Keep talking.
No, I'm here. We got you. We got you.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. What's going on tonight?
Cool, cool. Everything's good.
Hi, Tori.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hi, Signal. So what brought you on the panel? Hi, Jennifer.
Hold on, let me
Uh,
get my headphones really quick.
yeah, I'll just wait for the. What's this person's name? What's the guy's name?
Austin. His name is Austin.
Austin. Austin. Thank you. Thank you. I'll just wait for him to come back.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my headphones are working. Sometimes they act up. So I have some advice for some of the women and the men in here. I think I'll wait for him to come back too. But it's a testimonial as someone experienced in that industry. Oh, he can hear us?
Yeah, he can't. He just can't talk.
You guys all failed. You guys all failed. And Mary, you're fired.
No, why am I fired?
I
They said
said-
they want to wait for you. I
They
tried
failed.
to tell.
I said, I've got my headphones on. I can hear you. Keep talking. I got to pee.
Oh.
I tried to get him to talk, but they're like, I'm going to wait for him.
You didn't.
Well,
you
what
didn't
can I
try.
say to that? No, you must
I said,
speak.
Mary, I said, you're in charge, not them. You didn't say you must speak.
Okay,
You
so
failed.
I couldn't just strangle him like, come on, give me some information.
All right. Go ahead.
Even the chat was like, damn, they shut you down.
Is it cheating or not? It
You can
depends.
only
It's
let
everything.
them shut you down, Mary. You're the only one that can let them shut you down. All right, Signal, go ahead.
I believe it's all up to the person how they perceive it. You could think it depends. I believe it's cheating, even though my wife doesn't think so. Even though I'm the one who's always I was addicted. I quit to porn. I don't do porn no more. And even though I believe that it's wrong, and it ruins it ruins people's lives. I believe,
What impact did it have on your life?
A lot of, in like you said, it's. I heard before you said it's compared to a coke addiction, and it's really strong, and it's like you can't really function right in other aspects of your life, and other addictions. I'm beating. I beat all my addictions. I had others like cigarettes, alcohol, other addictions, and it's just maybe helpful for other people to know. To beat an addiction, all you need is to change them from bad addictions to something. It's all about dopamine. So if you get your dopamine somewhere else,
Exactly.
it's more difficult.
One of the people I watched literally said that the other day, Dr. Trish Lee. She said, you need to find a different place to get your dopamine. Like somewhere, because the thing with pornography is it gives you like a supernatural dopamine hit. There's a clinical term for it. I can't recall it right now, but it gives you like this unnaturally high dopamine hit, and then you crash below baseline. So you got to get your dopamine from a place where it's going to just give you a normal dopamine hit. There's nothing wrong with dopamine.
But getting it somewhere else where it's healthy, where it comes from working out or meditation or breathing techniques. For example, this is what helped me a lot, and if people listening to this, it might help them. That would be, beneficial. I was basically because it's other things, but the dopamine from working out or doing something healthy is much more difficult to get. Working out is more difficult than masturbating in front of the screen.
Yeah, you
Working
actually
out
have
in the
to
gym is more
work for it.
difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
Tori, I want to hear what you wanted to say.
Okay, so I had dealt with 2 relationships that were serious. They're serious relationships. The first one was highly addictive. He would hide his porn DVDs in Bibles, so I wouldn't find them. He was like, he was lying all the time. I would constantly find it, and it was such a
He was
feat
like,
on me.
he was lying all the time. I would constantly find it, and it was such a.
Mary, what are you doing?
Why am
Now
I
I'm
echoing?
getting feedback from you, Mary.
Okay.
I muted her.
I would constantly find it.
It's
It was
not me.
very
No, it's not me.
defeating.
Something happened.
Okay.
I
Real quick,
eventually
that's
left
dedication.
him.
That's dedication to hide in your Bibles. Oh, I'm just over here reading the Bible.
Yeah. And we would go to church every Sunday, so that's crazy to hide it in the Bible, And then I got married, and I had well, we've been together for 17 years now. He also had a porn addiction, like even worse one. And he lied to me about it for years, like years. And eventually I just got so sick and tired of it. I went into the industry because I needed self gratification. I needed some kind of I felt like I want to be as good as those girls. What's wrong with me? I would stare at myself in the mirror and cry and say, why am I not good enough? Why can't I be like them? And I got into the industry. I thought I loved it. I'm like, wow, this is empowering, whatever. But then you see the sadness of everybody else. And then you realize when you get out of there how sad it truly was and how much I degraded myself to get that self gratification. And it took years to get out. And I regret it. It's one of my biggest regrets in my whole life. And I wish that I had just left both and found someone who didn't need that. And it's also really bad for men. It's desensitizing. It's even desensitizing for the women. Like the women, there's plenty of women out there with porn addictions. Just working in that industry, it was desensitizing. You need
Hey, can you
more and
kick
more
me
and
off?
more.
Because something weird is going on and I can't get
I
off.
got you. There you go.
If I don't have a son, but if I had a son, he would not be watching that. I would make sure, there are healthier ways to, relieve yourself than to resort to that. It's going to desensitize you. It's not a realistic view of sex. Nothing in there is realistic at all. It's all fake. None of that happens in real life. Whenever my daughters were caught watching it, I had to give them a big long talk about how that is not what it looks like. Don't ever, go into that your first time and think that's
were
going
you
to be.
transparent with them about when you were in the industry?
Yes, they know.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, for being vulnerable. That is, man, what a story. So you were betrayed by porn. You got married, found it there, and then you went so far as to being in the industry for years and then getting out of it, and here you are.
Here I am, and I will advocate for girls to never go into there. I used to recruit them. That's a sad part. I used to recruit them and run like an agency, and it could ruin you. There are girls that are just crying on the bathroom floor, eating pills and drinking. It's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount they get paid, $400 to, do the most raunchiest things in the world. And then what? It's on the internet forever. That's it. You can't get it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long has it been since you've been away from that?
Oh, long time. Like 12 years.
Okay. And are you still in that relationship, the 17-year one?
We're just ending. We're going through a divorce. He swears up and down. I mean, after I got into the industry, he stopped looking at it. And he still swears up and down that he does not look at it. But there's always that broken trust. I will never trust him again with that. And I have just, I've accepted it. Like he's probably doing it every single time that I'm away from the house, which is what used to happen before.
That's a bummer. Wow. Wow. So what's next for you?
Well, right now I'm dating. I'm pretty scared that I'm going to meet more people like that. I don't think there's very many men that will give up something like that at all.
Well, I actually find that, I mean, granted, I help men who want to stop watching porn, right? But they're actually pretty willing to change once they can get over the initial shame of it and find the right help.
Well, I mean,
Again,
how do you even present that? I mean,
send
you
them my
need
TikTok
help.
page. Well, here's the thing: is it's having firm boundaries. That's one way. It's hey, I'm a person who a month tomorrow. Way to go, D. Let's go. If you have a firm boundary that says, hey, you know what? I don't care what you do, but I've decided that I will not be in a relationship with somebody who watches porn. But you do whatever you want. And then if they continue watching porn, and you can enact your boundary, which is I'm not going to be here.
Hey, well, can I say something, Austin? Yeah. If my wife would do that years ago, I'd probably stop. She never did. She says that as long as it's not a live person, it's not cheating. So I don't care. You do what you do, as long as it doesn't bother our relationship. And apparently, I felt like it never did bother our relationship that much. Actually, sometimes after watching porn, it even helped if I hold it in without masturbating. It even helps, but apparently it's too consuming. And you know how you can't stop watching. And then it's stressful. After a while, it's just stressful. And even though I'm just maybe a little bit into, like maybe a few months into, I just, without porn, only a few months. It's still
Good
not
for you,
easy.
man.
I still have, thank you.
Yeah. Well, it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
There's going to be relapses all the time, just like an alcoholic. But the fact is that
Actually,
you
alcohol
just,
is easier.
yeah,
Alcohol
it
is
is?
easier. I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I haven't had a drink in maybe a few years.
Yeah, I hear a lot.
And I don't care.
This comes from Dr. Doug Weiss. He's the GOAT in the field. He says that this is the hardest addiction to break. And I would agree. I mean, porn and sex addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, by the time guys get to me, they've already quit drugs, they've quit alcohol, they've quit smoking, and they can't stop the porn. It's just got a grip on people. It had a grip on me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have substance issues, but it's very difficult. But when somebody wants to change, they can and will change. And it's interesting. And thanks for sharing that signal. You're like, if my wife would have made that boundary, you probably would have done something different. If every woman
She never
decided,
did. She thought if she would, it would ruin the relationship and it would probably make it worse. So she never did until I realized that it's ruining the relationship. There's less intimate connect between us. The more porn, the less. The more porn, the less. The more porn. And I realized it's going to completely ruin the relationship. So I decided on my own. But I don't know how. I mean, a couple of months is nothing. I don't know. How long you had your... Say again? Go ahead.
Yeah. How long have you been using porn? And can I ask you how old you are?
I'm in my 50s.
Okay.
and I started first watching porn maybe when I was 12, 11, 12, 13 years ago in another country. It wasn't porn. It was maybe just some pictures, some magazines.
Yeah, it's different
Years
back
ago.
then, but yeah. So the brain science
was
suggests it's a 2 to 5 year process to rewire the brain back to normal after a porn or sex addiction.
2 to 5 years.
2 to 5 years to get back to normal. Now, in my experience, that's pretty accurate, and you have like exponential growth right out of the gate, and then you continue making incremental progress. And I'd say from my experience, I watched porn for about 20 years, from when I was about 12 years old to 32 years old, which also escalated into physical cheating with my wife. I'm still married to her, been married to the same person for 13 years. But for me, after coming clean, I was like, you know what? After like 3 months or 6 months, I was like, oh, I think I'm good. I was like, still got work to do. 6 months later, oh, I think I'm good. Nope, still got work to do. I never relapsed. But it wasn't until, honestly, it was about 4 or 5 years in the process, I was like, you know what? I think my brain is back to normal, which would have been about 2 years ago. It's been 7 years now. So you got to just stay with it. You got to not only find new habits, new patterns, do the behavior modification, which is part of the equation, but you got to find the root of what got you there in the first place and heal from that. You have to find the root of the issue. And when you do that, then you will never go back to it once you know why you were there in the first place.
Well, I am thinking of yes, like how for that many years, you know, 2 to 5 years is a long time to get to rebuild the brain to go back to normal. I don't know. It's like difficult in this day and age. Even if you don't go to porn, you go to YouTube, you go to any TV channels. Even if it's not porn, you see everywhere, if not naked, half naked women.
Even
Movies,
TikTok.
everywhere you go. Even TikTok, everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, even if I, you know, I'm good. I told my wife today that I'm not going on to porn sites, but I go to YouTube just to watch musical videos or anything, and there you go.
So I have a question.
Godson, I'll bring you on here. I didn't see those gifts, but yeah, I'll bring you on in a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hold on. Let him finish his thought. Signal. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to finish, and it's difficult because it's porn. It's even if you don't go on the websites, it's just all over. That's my point. Is any advice on that?
Well,
no advice.
Yeah,
I guess.
No, I mean, there's the principles. It's like, well, you got to remove that stimulus. So if YouTube's a problem, get rid of YouTube. If TikTok's a problem, get rid of TikTok. Right? And you can do it.
Right.
If your phone is a problem, get rid of the phone. Don't tell me you can't get rid of the phone, because it's which do you want more, to be free from porn or to have a phone? You can get a flip phone. A lot of the guys I work with, they have flip phones. But the other thing is,
I mean, it's work. My business is I can't get rid of the phone.
Yeah, I get it. I'm making an analogy, right? But it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice, right?
Right.
And so here's the question, though. Also, is who else in your life knows that you struggle with this issue? Do friends know? Do family know?
Just my wife. My wife.
So 99 times out of 100, when I ask that question to a man, who else in your life knows about this? It's just my wife or just my girlfriend. And here's why I ask that. Because shame festers in the darkness, but it cannot stand being spoken to the light. When we hold things in, when we keep secrets, they grow, they fester. But when we start telling people about what's going on in our life, when we start telling people about our problems or our burdens or the things that are keeping us down or the things we're having shame over, they lose their power over us. So that's why, in the addiction world, 12-step programs are helpful. One of the reasons why. That's why confiding in others' friends, bearing one another's burdens is helpful. So shame festers in the darkness, but it can't stand being spoken to the light. So if you speak it to the light, it will lose its power. So there's many ways you can do that. That can be with a therapist, a coach, a counselor, a faith community, a recovery group, just telling friends or family. but you gotta do it in the right context at the right pace as well. So I'd encourage you, Signal, if you haven't done anything to get on the right track, so to speak, you're like, what's your plan? Doug Weiss, again, I referenced him a minute ago. He had a great thing on Instagram the other day. He said, a man who wants to accomplish something always has a plan. So if you want to stop porn, what's your plan?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, I have to think on that. Yeah, because I just quit, but I have no plan. I just decided I want to stop.
And you're white knuckling it. You quit cold turkey, which is great. It's a great start. Like, good job.
Great.
Right? And it's really hard to do that in isolation. So again, no problem.
Right.
You've made a great stride here, but now what will it take? So I'd love to chat with you, man. If you go to link in my bio, you can schedule a call with me if you want to.
Yeah, I think I pressed follow. Did I? Am I following you now? Or? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you so much.
But if you can schedule a call with me if you want to chat more. I can tell you about some of the resources that I offer as well.
Sure. So, thank you.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Tori, you were
Okay,
going to say
can you hear
something?
me?
Or Amanda, was that you? I don't know who was talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's me talking.
Okay.
Okay, so I will just preface saying that when I was in 4th or 5th grade, I had a laptop and I found porn, not by knowing what it was, and I watched it and I got caught, and I knew from that time on that it was not good for you. But now, since then, I still have watched it here and there because I think that it's something that you can just use for pleasure. I don't think it always has to be something that is addictive. It doesn't always have to be something that is problematic. And same with my relationship. Me and my boyfriend, we don't live together. So if I'm not there and he wants to do something and he wants to watch that to get gratification, then that's not an issue for me if he's not using it obsessively.
Okay. So how do you feel that your boyfriend watches another woman on a screen having sex and he likes the way he feels aroused, and then starts masturbating while watching that woman?
I don't care because I feel the same way.
Okay. So why are you in the relationship? What are the boundaries in your relationship?
We really are very open about a lot of things, but for the most part, he's able to do whatever he wants to do. Along
What
the
about
lines of
along the lines of what?
he can have girlfriends. He can do. I'm just not a jealous person. So if he
Oh,
wants
so you're
to
just straight
watch,
poly. You're just straight poly then.
no, he's just able
hold
to
on.
do
By
whatever he
definition,
wants.
if he has other girlfriends, that's the definition of a
No,
polyamorous relationship.
no. He is allowed to have girlfriends. Women that are friends, not girlfriends.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood your usage of the word girlfriend.
No, I'm just not a jealous person. So if I'm not there and he wants to do what he needs to do, he is allowed to do that because I'm not there to do it for him.
Okay.
Amanda, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if it's personal or not, but do you believe in God?
I don't.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I was just wondering.
Yeah, I grew up in Utah, actually. I'm in Utah. And I grew up around a lot of Mormon people not being Mormon. And it kind of pushed me away from religion, being around all this super, super religious people.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I was just curious.
So, Amanda, so it doesn't bother you? You don't have an
No, not at
expectation
all.
that your boyfriend only have eyes for you?
No.
Okay.
Because in my head, I'm going to trust you and you can do whatever you want to do until you do something that you're not supposed to do. So in the sense of if it was problematic
how
and
is
it
he
was
supposed to know
obsessive,
what he's not supposed to do? If he can do, That's a statement right there. He can do anything he wants to do until it bothers me. Where's the line?
The line is when, so to me, porn is just a video, right? It comes to the point where if you're
But
actually
I'm asking
reaching
where the
out to
line is. You
people,
said he can do whatever he wants to do, broadly, except for things that bother you. So specifically, it's you've thought through this, right? Specifically, what are the
yes,
things
yes,
that
yes, yes.
he can't do? So, and
Yes,
actually,
okay.
he actually can't do anything he wants to do.
Well, yeah, I shouldn't have said it that way if you're going to put it that way.
No. You put it that way. You
I
put it
did
that
put
way.
it that way, but you're taking it into a different term. But
I repeated exactly what you said. He can do whatever he wants to do unless I don't like it. So he can't do everything he wants to do.
so, in my opinion, I think that if he is watching something online and he's not doing it obsessively, he's only doing it when he needs to because I'm not there or he just wants to do it in that moment, that's fine. If he's reaching out and doing like OnlyFans or talking to someone and it's becoming obsessive, that's when it's an issue.
So how define excessive? Like how many times a week is it acceptable for you that your boyfriend masturbates while watching other women have sex?
Probably like, I think once a day is okay. But if it's more than that.
All right. So as long as your boyfriend masturbates to other women having sex only once a day, it's fine. But if he masturbates to other women having sex twice a day, then you're mad.
Amanda, I have a question.
Hold on. Let her answer. Is that right? So twice a day masturbating to other women have sex is
Okay,
off
well,
the
that's
table?
my like, it's not this fine line of like, if you go over this, then it's end game. It's like, personally, if you're doing it this amount of times, it's okay. If you are doing it a little bit more than that, that is okay. But when you're doing it excessively, when you're doing it like 5 times a day, every single day, then that's an issue.
Okay, so 5 times. So four or less is okay. 5 or more is a problem. We just raised the threshold from 1 to 5.
Let's say 2 times a day.
Okay, twice a day, masturbating. So the standard you hold your partner to, and I just want to make sure I got this right. The standard you hold your partner to is I love you, only you, we're committed to each other, blah, blah, blah. We only have eyes for each other, except twice a day, you can masturbate while watching another woman have sex. But if it's 3 times a day, then you'd have a problem with it. Do I have that right?
Yeah, because I think that's a little bit excessive.
Okay. All right. Well, at
Because
least you're
in
clear.
my opinion, but I also have to tell you that we live in different homes, and so a lot of the time we are together. So whenever he's not with me, which is like only once or twice a week, if he wants to do that, he can do that. And also, if we haven't had sex in a while, he's able to do that because I haven't been giving him that as well.
Got it. Okay. God said you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask her, do you think there's a difference between masturbation and watching porn?
I think they're tied together.
Absolutely not. Masturbation is alone. I mean, when you add something
Well,
to
I've never been
masturbation,
able to get off with not watching it, so that's why I say that.
I mean, that's because it's addiction.
No, because I do it like once a month.
Okay, once a month. I mean, is it good for your brain? Is it?
It's never affected my brain.
Do you look at a man differently when you watch porn?
No.
That's the first
We
time
still
I've...
have great sex. We still have a good life. We still do good.
Well, I mean, honestly, I wish you the best in your life, and I wish that you're successful, and I hope that you change your mind about religious point of views and maybe try a different religion.
Okay, well, there's no such thing as trying a different religion because I'm not in a religion at all, and it's my own self, and I can choose what religion I want to be a part of or if I don't want to be a part of one. And it doesn't really have anything to do with religion. It really is just the standards that I hold for myself. So yes, when I told y'all in the chat, because I see your comments, when I'm putting that statistic of saying he could do it 3 times a day or 2 times a day. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. He's doing it every once in a while when we haven't had sex and we haven't been together, and he does it every once in a while. And because I could say the same for myself,
Amanda,
I've
do
done
you
it
have
too
kids?
every once in a while.
Do you have kids, Amanda?
Hello, Austin.
Hey there, what's going on?
I actually came to your TikTok tonight, just scrolling through, and it's actually a really interesting show. Amanda, I do have a question though, if I
Yeah.
can ask. Have you ever thought of, rather than porn, to FaceTime each other? I know you don't live together, so to FaceTime each
Yeah.
other and just satisfy each other that way?
So typically when it does happen is like, either I'm asleep and he wakes up in the morning for work or something like that, and he does it in the shower. So it's not something that's at night where we both could be doing that with each other. Second of all, I'm not very, okay, I didn't preface this before. I am not a very sexual person, and I do not have the same libido that he does. So when I am just not in the mood for it, like weeks on end, I think he should be able to give himself that pleasure without me having to do it because I'm not comfortable in that time of doing it.
So, Amanda, do you deprive your husband?
He's not my husband, he's
They're
my
not married.
boyfriend, and it's not depriving him. It's when I feel comfortable doing it and I struggle with mental illnesses and stuff. So I'm not always just down for the count.
One thing that helped me with the long distance is, whenever you are together, you guys can record your interactions together.
Well, we have recordings too.
Yeah, he can just watch that if he needs to.
He does that too, but sometimes it's, if he's in the shower and he wants to watch something, that's fine too. That's the issue, is like, it's not he's watching this consistently and it's not something that he's doing weekly. It's like, oh, he just got into the shower and he's going to turn something on because he wants to get off because we haven't done anything in a while.
How many times
Amanda,
a
do you
week does
have-
he watch it?
What?
How many times a week does he watch it?
I don't know that because I don't ask him, because we have a
Well, you
good
said
understanding.
you said he doesn't do it that often.
No.
So how do you know?
Well, so in my
Yes.
head, typically in our relationship, we typically are with each other 5 days out of the week out of 7. So if there is a day where we're not together and we haven't had sex for, say, 2 weeks and I'm not with him, he's probably going to do that.
Amanda,
Okay, so can I
do you
say
have kids?
something? Go ahead, Godson. Go ahead.
I was just curious. I'm just curious if Amanda has kids or not.
Nope. I'm 24 years old.
That's okay. So I was just gonna ask a question either way, if you did or not. If you had kids, would you be okay if your kids watched porn?
I wouldn't be okay with it, but
Then why
I
do
don't
think
know if
it's
you were here
okay?
for this segment of it, but when I was in 4th, 5th grade, I had a laptop and I was watching porn on that laptop and my mom caught me. And actually, I'm grateful that that happened because it opened up a sense of being able to talk about sex with my family, and it,
Open up
like,
your eyes that it was wrong?
no one ever made me feel like it was wrong. They were just like,
You wanna
you
know
shouldn't
when
be
I
doing this
found
because you're this
porn was?
age.
When I was 7 years old, and it is the most sickening thing that it can do to a young person. And for me to hear you say that it wouldn't bother you if your kids were to watch that. When I was introduced by somebody older than me, and so honestly, I think it's no excuse. I mean, it opened up your eyes when you were younger that it was wrong. You came to your parents, but
No,
it's
it
okay
was
for
wrong
you
that
to
I
watch.
was doing it at that age because I was in like 4th grade,
So
5th
it's
grade.
wrong for a certain age to do it?
What age is it okay, Amanda?
At no age is it okay. Well, I will say probably when you're in high school, I think it is okay to seek out those things because our sex education in America is
So
not
age
very good.
14 then?
I didn't even know that I had a hole. I didn't even know any of those things. So it actually it helped me in the future about sex education because our sex education is not good.
Well, you got a pretty bad sex education, in my opinion. Porn
Well,
is a
no, I
teacher,
have
but
the
it's a bad teacher of healthy sex education, in my opinion.
I was never taught sex. I was never taught about sex. And the only way I learned it by doing it. And that's how it, in my opinion, it should be.
Yes, and I agree with that, but you also hear all the horror stories of someone who goes to do it for the first time and they have no idea what they're doing.
But that's
Well,
okay
you
if they
should
don't have
definitely not
anything.
learn from porn on how to have sex. That is
Right.
not how you have sex in
aggressive.
I
the real
agree with
world.
that. I
Super
agree with that.
aggressive.
But I'm just saying, in my instance, it did help me in a way because I never knew that that was how it worked and how things had happened.
Yeah, my ex-husband, he wanted to try different things. He watched porn a lot and he wanted to try different things and he didn't care if I enjoyed it or not. It was all to his satisfaction. And I come to realize what was more important to him. I was never, ever, like, it was my first marriage, and I was never satisfied by him at all. Never once. And I didn't know anything about sex and how you get satisfied until I left him and divorced him because he cheated on me eventually.
But don't you think that having like appreciation for sex and being open about sex and talking about sex in front of people is a good thing?
It is a
No.
good thing to talk about sex, in my opinion.
In my opinion,
Luana,
I
to
believe it's
touch
supposed
on
to be
what you
paired
said, that
with the
you
other
were never
non-work.
pleasured by him in your marriage because all he did was watch porn, that's where he learned it from. And in porn, the only person that's getting pleasured is the man. The
Right.
woman's sitting there, screaming out moans and all of that stuff, but she is not being pleasured. She's looking at her nails. She's
Right.
waiting for it to be over. There is
Yeah, but
nothing in porn that
there's
teaches
so
him
many
how to
different
pleasure
genres
a
of porn.
woman.
It's not just based on what a man is feeling. You can go and watch other types of porn.
I still have yet to see one genre of porn where, it's all real and, all about pleasuring each other instead of, the man.
Have you ever watched lesbian porn?
Even lesbian porn is not realistic.
Amanda, do you have empathy?
Look at her bio, Amanda. Look at Tori's bio. Am I wrong, Tori?
What is her bio?
Bisexual girl.
What does it say?
My bio says I'm bisexual, so I've had my fair share of, lesbian encounters, and nowhere in porn, did we do that stuff.
Well, it's not always portrayed the same way, but it still is the actions of it. The whole reason that I have watched it or my partner has watched it is because you're watching the action of something being done and you're enjoying it because you have done that action as well. So you're enjoying them doing the action with that other person because you have been in that position. Or even before that, you're just watching something that you think that other person is enjoying. I'm not watching all the stupid shit that's like, oh, they do this and this and this. No, I'm just watching the actual action of what they're doing. They're touching each other. They're doing these things.
What if, Amanda, what if instead of putting all that energy towards that, what if you focus on building like an intimate emotional connection with your partner?
I do have that.
You do have that. Okay.
Yeah, and we have great sex.
Okay.
So, Austin, the first thing that I brought up when I came on, I want to ask you the question. As a coach, do you suggest, rather than porn, do you suggest like FaceTime each other and satisfying each other that way rather than watching porn?
No, I don't
What is
suggest creating your own porn because it's still porn.
The same thing.
Whoa.
That was the question I was going to ask you earlier.
It's not
Could it
creating
contribute
porn.
towards the
Exactly.
addiction and trigger that?
No,
It
it's
is.
not creating porn.
That's
It's
not
just
sex.
showing
That's not
parts.
true sex. That's not true intimacy with your significant other. That's like you have like a whole barrier and you're on the other side and he's on the other side. That's not true love at all.
Porn is imagery, usually depicting an organ or multiple organs of another person with the erotic intent to arouse. Sex
Isn't that
is
natural?
two people in person having a
Yes.
physical encounter.
That's
So
natural.
So when you're
FaceTime,
watching that, isn't it the exact same thing?
It's not.
no, because sex is not
Why?
designed
It's
to be
two
between a
organisms
person
doing
and a
the same
screen.
exact thing.
No, it's
Well, listen
not.
to him.
No, it's not. Masturbating while looking at a hunk of metal is not sexual intimacy.
Right. Okay, so
With yourself, it is.
so that's what happened. Like I'm in a long distance relationship. He's all the way in Washington. I'm in Arkansas. So and our relationship is going really well, but we did like show parts of our body to satisfy each other. Only twice in our relationship, only twice, and we agreed that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Well,
And
you
he's
asked.
actually the one that said it first,
Yeah,
and I
you asked if
agreed
I.
to it.
Yeah, you asked if I recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, then you can go, is it better than porn than actual porn of other people? Sure, but here's the question: is it getting you closer towards intimacy with one another or further away? And in my opinion, you're not bonding with one another in person, so it's getting you further away,
Yeah.
right? Because it's synthetic. It's not real. It's not the real
In
thing.
your case, though, because I can say that it actually kind of makes it fun and actually has brought us closer together. Because
Yeah. And
being open with
how
one
old are you,
another,
Amanda? How old are you?
I'm 24.
All right. So, if I had $1 for every time a woman or couple in their 30s, 40s had that same point of view,
Yeah, but
and
I
then
can
they've
also say
realized it's
that
not,
I'm very
then
close with my parents, and my parents actually feel the exact same way.
yeah, I got it. You're not wrong. People do say that. Yes. My people also say that they watch porn multiple times a day and they're still super connected to their partner. So I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
I think it's all just based on your own relationship and what you guys feel is okay for each other.
You get to decide that for sure. Let me just check in with the chat. So I'm going to put a poll up here that says, "Who should I kick?" And 1, 2, 3, 4. So whoever I'm trying. I've never done this before, but vote in the poll. We'll see who gets kicked.
Everyone's gonna kick me.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's what the numbers mean. All right. What else?
Yeah, so I mean, the last thing I'm going to say is, we agreed to that. He's against.
Put it. You have to actually vote in the poll, people. Okay, so it's right above my head, the little blue check mark thing.
He's
ahead,
against
Mona.
porn. He's against masturbating. He tells me that he will just wait for me to come up there, or he comes down here and visit, to have our sexual intimacy, and I
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah, I think
So
that's great.
that's our agreement. Even if it's
Yeah.
long distance relationship, it can work out as long
Mm-hmm.
as you have that agreement and that trust. And trust sucks, because I've been through cheating, and that's the worst thing anybody can do. And I can't even imagine the porn. Like, I can't imagine. My ex-husband was addicted to porn, but not as much as all these people that were talking about it. So I can't imagine dealing with that.
Yeah.
But that's all. Thank you for allowing me to come up here.
Thanks for
I'm
sharing.
enjoying the show.
All right. Bye-bye. We'll just say one person is winning by a lot in this poll. Vote in the poll, guys. Who should I kick?
What are the standings? Tell me, because I can't see.
You're getting smoked, Amanda. That's what the standings are.
Like everyone wants me gone.
Yeah, like 2-1 or so.
It's so funny that the one person that's going against everything that everyone's saying is the one getting voted out.
I mean, hey, you've been on here for 27 minutes, so we're kind of going around in circles at this point.
Yeah, but I've been on your live for probably over an hour, and all it's been is people coming into your chat and agreeing with everything that you're saying. So I've been the one person that's came in and actually debated you on what's going on.
And that's why I've kept you on for as long as I have, because it's
I
interesting.
mean, do you have any sources to even back up anything that you're saying?
Yeah, what are we even debating? I don't even think we're debating.
Well, we're just debating on the thing on your live says is porn cheating, because absolutely not in my case, because it depends on every single relationship and how they view it.
Which
Your
I
case,
agree.
you have
We're not
statistics?
debating. You're sharing
My
your opinion, I'm
question
sharing mine.
is like,
Isn't that a debate when
when
you
is
post something
a
and you're saying,
problem
is
a
porn
Because
cheating,
you
problem?
and you're wanting people to come on and debate it?
statistics to prove your case.
For Amanda, how often do you guys drink alcohol?
I don't drink alcohol. I'm a Christian.
For me?
Yeah, for you and your man.
Probably 5 days out of the week.
And according to doctors, that is an alcoholic. I think if it's over 4 times a week or 5 times a week, I don't
I
remember.
think considered an alcoholic is when you cannot live with alcohol and you start to have side effects from it because you literally cannot live without it. Just because when I come home at night and I want to have a drink or two does not make me an alcoholic.
So if your man you said that he could look at porn, what, 3 times a day and you're fine? Could he have, 3 drinks every single day and you're
That's
fine?
what I was saying to you.
Or is that a problem?
Wait, repeat that again for me.
So if you said that your man can look at porn 2 to 3
Vote in the
times a
poll,
day.
people. Who should I kick? 1 minute left. Sorry, go ahead.
And, that's fine. It's not a problem. That's not
Mhm.
excessive. So if your man drank 3 times a day, would that be excessive? Every day, 7 days a week, from what you said.
According to her terminology, that's excessive.
It is excessive.
But there you go.
But those are two different problems. Drinking is something that you're actually putting into your body, and it's an actual thing that you are
I mean, aren't
physically
you putting
doing versus
mental health
watching
problems
something
into
that
your
is
body?
online.
Something online?
Because in my opinion, when you're watching porn, probably you're masturbating and you're watching a 7-minute video?
You watch that
7
video, a
minutes of the
woman
fucking
that
day.
doesn't want to do what she's actually doing. She's doing it because of a check, and you have no empathy for the women that don't want to do that, but you're gonna watch them anyways because it gives you pleasure. How selfish! Like, how dare you?
There's a lot of people that are in the sex industry that are doing it for money.
Yeah, they're not doing
And,
it because they want to do it. They're doing it because
well,
it's
how are
easy
you
money.
supposed to differ who is doing it and who isn't?
I mean, look at all the girls. They're doing it because it's money. Come on now.
Yeah, because a lot of people are willing to do that, and that's your own body
That's
that is
not-
willing to do that.
Later down the road, there's plenty of porn stars that unalive themselves. Go do your research and
But
look
that was
up
their own
the
choice.
deaths of these
A
porn stars.
lot of depressed
Look up
porn
But that was
2024.
their own
Look up
choice.
2024 and look up the statistics behind how many women in porn industry are unaliving themselves because
Yeah,
of the
but we're all
mental
people
health
and we have
conditions
our
that
own
they
choice.
get.
Yes,
Yeah, we do
there
have our
are
own choices, just like you
circumstances.
have your own choice,
Yes,
Amanda.
yes. There are circumstances where people are put into those situations where it's a bad situation and that does happen for them, but a lot of people are choosing to do that on their own conscience.
Amanda, I'm just gonna pray for you, and I hope that you repent and you turn back to God.
No, I'm literally
I
telling you.
think the poll is already done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda got 41 votes. Godsend, you got 20. And Tori, you got 5.
All right, well, sorry guys. Sorry to have that opposite opinion.
Hold on, though. Here's the thing. The alcoholism argument, I don't think is a very good one, because the difference is pornography, by definition, is sexually objectifying another person, which is treating somebody as a sexual object or body rather than a person with their own unique identity, personality, and dignity. That's what people are doing when they're engaging in pornography. You don't have to agree with me on that. I'm just telling you the definition of what it is. So that's why the argument of, oh, well, the people choose to be in the porn. Yes, you're right. However, the person who's consuming the porn is sexually objectifying. So the question just goes back to
Not
how
everyone.
much sexual... Yes, it is, because that's what it is. It's sexually objectifying. The question is, how
Well,
much
they're
should
putting
we
it out there
sexually
because they want people to do that.
I'm telling you, the way that it got on your screen is separate of the fact that the person who's consuming the porn is sexually objectifying. Doesn't matter how it got to you. If you're engaging in it, you're sexually objectifying. So the question is, how much sexual objectification should we have in our relationships?
Well, I think it's all personal. That's what I'm saying is
I'm
porn
asking
is
you,
something that
how
is
much do you want your partner or for yourself sexually objectifying other people, treating a person
it's not
without dignity and
put that
respect?
way. It's not put that way at all. You're turning it into something that it's not, because I'm not sexually objectifying someone when I'm watching a video that they put out themselves because they're wanting
Are you
you to
treating
watch
them
it.
as a sexual object for your pleasure?
Possibly, but they did that for me.
It doesn't matter how they did it. If you're treating them like that as a tool for your sexual pleasure, you're sexually objectifying them.
Yeah, I am sexually objectifying them, but they're putting themselves out there as a sexual object, and they're doing it for that. They want people
and
to
you
sexually
can say
objectify
that
them.
10 more times, and I'll still say it doesn't matter how they got to you, how they got on your screen. You're still using them as a tool.
So if you dress a certain way, is that for men to look at you?
No, because they're not doing that on purpose for men to look at them.
The same
That's
thing that you just
different.
said about
When
those
you're
women.
actually putting that out there and you're
the way that you dress. Have some respect for God. Come on, man.
okay, so this is the issue. So there are people in
You have no
porn that
respect
aren't
for nobody.
actually in porn because they want to be in
Or
porn,
yourself.
because there are a lot of sex trafficking and shit out there. But there are a lot of people that put themselves into porn and they do it purposefully
So it's
because they
okay.
want
It's okay
people
for
to
them
watch it.
continue to
It does
get
not equivalate
raped
to
and
someone dressing a certain way,
continue to
because
feel
that person is not
way.
dressing a certain way to someone do
Wow.
something to them.
This is
I
my
mean, they're
favorite
the ones
comment
that are
I've ever
asking for that
got.
attention.
Tam Kraken. It's a business no different than selling beer or hot dogs at football games. That's a stretch.
This guy.
You know, a lot of these women are trafficked into it. And the money that they're getting, not even worth it. They've got to be the most desperate women like imaginable. $400 to get disrespected, and you start out in the most raunchiest, disrespectful. I don't want to say the words on here because I don't want them to get him banned, but it's very violent. That's where you start. That's the hazing of the whole thing. Those girls are scared for their lives during that whole thing. If you look into their eyes, a lot of them come out of that crying, suicidal. They're not doing okay. It's not because they wanted to put it out. It's because they were told to, recruited to, or trafficked to, or they really, really needed that little tiny $400 because they need to make ends meet.
And I
And then they
completely
regret
agree
it
with
later.
that it's not the same situation for every single person. The porn industry has sex trafficking, it has all these other different things, but you can't put it all into one category, because not every single person that is doing it is because they're being sex trafficked. They're doing it because they actually like doing it, and that's how they make their money.
So, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, good morning
Yes, we
from
can
the
hear you.
UK. Thanks. I wanted to jump in on this because I'm going through this at the moment. My husband, together 13 years and married for 6.5 years, has been cheating on me with a girl from OnlyFans. He was planning to run away with her. He was starting to learn Romanian, had signed up for a subscription to learn the language. He was paying money for sexual and very vulgar videos. He wants sex that isn't real. It's porn sex. It's completely upended my life. He's not my husband anymore. He's I don't know what he is, but he's, and it needs to be explained that when we first got together, and I work in a very male-dominated industry, it's very understood that porn is normal, and guys watch porn, and I get that. So I get, Amanda, where you're coming from, and I know that there are probably relationships that can function on it, because I thought that ours could, but then it went from porn to OnlyFans, which was already stipulated. Please don't. He's effectively ended up having a relationship with one of them, and the poor man is deluded because she's not interested. She just wants his money. And to keep him on, there was never a hope in hell that they were ever going to actually get together. And what's worse is that there's a second girl that he's using as a therapist. So rather than talking to his wife about his problems, he's talking to her. And I'm at a loss because I don't know what to do. I feel like my life ended about 6 weeks ago. I'm
really
broken
sorry,
because
Ruby.
he jumps between... Yeah, and I'm not here for the apologies. I'm just trying to show the views. I'm trying to explain that I do get where you're coming from, Amanda, and I completely get that porn is sadly normalised in our world, and it is normal for guys to watch, but it does get to an extreme, and I'm currently living in this extreme, where I'm living with a husband where 1 minute he's telling me that I'm stale and I'm not challenging him. And then the next minute he's flipping around and telling me not to give up on him and not to leave him because he has a problem. He won't take antidepressants or go to the doctors because he doesn't want anything to mess with his brain. And he doesn't seem to understand that this porn addiction has messed with his brain. He's still in this house. He won't leave. He won't give me the bills to leave because he's scared. He's in two minds. He doesn't know what he wants. And it's all stemmed from porn. It's all stemmed from porn. He's telling people that we're having trouble in our marriage or there's trouble at home because I'm the easiest thing to hide behind, because there's absolutely no way in hell he's going to actually tell anybody the truth, is he? So I'm just trying to come on here with the two viewpoints of, again, I completely get the society that we're currently in normalises porn. I get that. But when it gets to then these extremes, when it's things like OnlyFans, which I can only think is something maybe more along the lines of sexual Twitter, where you can reach out and speak to these so-called, I don't know what they're classed as in porn, celebrities or stars or whatever. It's a whole new extreme. Somebody's messaged, have we had problems before? No, we never had problems before. Never. This all came out completely out of the blue. He's been doing it since the end of April. He spent at least £200, at least, from what I've found, on videos where they're 3 minutes long. 3 minutes long, and he was continuing to sleep with me throughout. My self-esteem's taken a huge knock. My confidence has taken a huge knock. My mental health has taken a gigantic knock. I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning. I'm sorry, I'm in the UK. It's 7:46 for me at the moment. I'm struggling to function, and these are the realities of this kind of dark section of the addiction. Sorry, just wanted to weigh in. I can see both sides, but this is when it gets dark, and I'm currently in it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, Ruby. I'm sorry you're going through that.
It's okay.
The reality
Thank
is
you.
porn use always escalates. It always escalates into something else. Always, 100% of the time, it escalates. And I hate that you're going through it, Ruby, but it does bring a beautiful contrast. You're beautiful. It's probably the wrong word, but where it starts and what you used to think, and to here you are now, and it's escalated into a very severe place. And I hear the pain. I feel the pain that you're going through in this.
Yeah, and Ruby, I will say that, like, I understand your side completely, and it can ruin families. I've seen it ruin families. It really can break your relationship, and it can do a lot of those things. And so when I say what I say, I'm not disregarding all of the things that it can do. I'm just saying that we can't put it into one bubble and say that this one bad thing is doing bad things for everyone else, because I truly do believe that there are bad things in porn, obviously, but there are bad things in everything as well. And I don't want to make anyone feel less than from what I'm saying, because I am very, very, very aware of what goes on in it, and I don't want anyone to go through what you've gone through, and I'm so upset to hear your story, and I just want you to hopefully find peace and really get through this, and I'm really sorry.
I mean, thank you, Amanda, but to kind of go into a bit of a point that you'd made earlier
do
when
the
you kind
poll
of said,
again,
obviously, like, you know what your partner's doing. Genuine question. I thought I knew what my partner was doing. And I thought I knew my husband, because again, 13 years. But I didn't know he was doing this. I could have lived with the general porn thing, you know, especially that 1 week in the month for us girls where, you know, they don't want it, we're more than likely not interested. I get it, because that's how we're now brought up in society, that's normal. But how do you actually know for a fact that he isn't doing other things? Because again, I didn't know for a fact. I had no clue. I had absolutely no clue until I was sensed he was pushing me away, and then I went through the messages.
I'd
I had no
highly
clue.
recommend watching your bank account for any transactions. And even these websites, they'll hide, you know, the names of these transactions, but you'll see OnlyFans has made stuff a lot cheaper. But back in my day, we had like cam sites and stuff like that, and Twitter, and that's what I branded to from, you know, doing films and stuff like that. I can say without a shadow of doubt, I've broken up marriages. I guaranteed. And they used to come to me for advice, just like you said. I mean, it's really heartbreaking, like, to think that I was ever a part of that, because it really did nothing for me. It just made me feel empty and disgusting. And it only gets worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to go from this to he's going to send gifts to that person, like from their Amazon wish list. They're going to, you know, it's going to keep going further and further and further. You have two choices. You can either try and fix it. And I don't know if you guys need to go to church together or really go to therapy or whatever hard work that you want to do, or you need to leave and save your sanity, because I started out like you, feeling invalidated and like I really needed to go into this industry because I wasn't as good as the girls that he was cheating on me with. You don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, so the difficulty is that, again, this is about 6 weeks ago now. When this first came about, I'd initially said that we could put a pin in it and I could try and move past it and we go to therapy. And he's in this kind of Jekyll and Hyde mode at the moment, where he goes from being my husband to being this dark thing. I don't even know what to describe it as, just dark thing, midlife crisis, big ego, whatever you want to do. He wanted to get his teeth capped and go on a motorbike, and told me he went on this particular site because he wanted to sleep with someone. He didn't say sleep, but I'm trying to be polite on this particular chat. Someone who was big-chested. He then changes his mind and tells me the next day, no, it's not about that. It's not about that. He's so far gone. It's horrific. We've done therapy. We don't have a joint bank account, and at this point, thank God, he's obviously paid for it himself. I don't know how. He's still very secretive on his phone, but keep in mind, he's still speaking to the therapist. OnlyFans person, I'm trying not to say prostitute, because I appreciate they probably don't sleep with people, but whatever way you want to word them, he's more than likely still talking to the sexual one, because at the very beginning he told me it was okay because it wasn't that much. And this shows just how far his delusion has gone, and he doesn't even seem to understand, because I don't know whether I've made the mistake or been naive or whatever, but obviously when I found out her name, I created an OnlyFans account and I started following her, and she's on as available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and nothing clicks with him. Like, no offense, he could be speaking to John from Stoke. He's that far gone. Like, even the videos, he's not realised that when he's paying and he gets a video instantaneously, that it's not personalised. It's a business. They're all business transactions, and it's a fantasy. But when you, again, as we'd said, Amanda, when you think you know your partner / husband, in my case, and you think that that's not what they're going to do, and then the next thing on your phone you find that they're looking at flights to Romania, and hotels for 2, and a flight for 1, and
I
again,
totally
paying
get
for a
that.
subscription to
And I
learn the
think
language.
it just depends on the situation. And there are those instances where that has happened because we actually have
Is
dealt
there?
with that in the family recently. Yes.
Is this normal though? People start learning the languages and think they're gonna fuck off and create a new life somewhere else in the world, but be paying these people. Like one of the things he said to her in his messages was he was happy for her to still do the job she was doing. Like I don't understand that. Like to me
Yeah,
that's
that's completely
completely
there are men
nonsensical.
out there that are definitely
Amanda,
doing that.
so first of all, you got smoked again, way worse this time. You got like 50 votes. The next person got 10.
That's okay. That's
Do
because
you
I'm the
think,
only one in the
do you
chat
think
that's
that this could
disagreeing.
happen? Do you think that this could happen to you? That you could discover something in the future, a
Of
year from now,
course,
5 years?
I've been in those type of situations as well. That's what I've been saying is that it depends on the situation and the person that you are with because it's not always going to be that situation for everyone. And yes, I'm very aware that it can happen to anyone.
So
I'm not
if you've been in that situation before, you indicated somebody else in your family is going through it. Ruby's sharing so vulnerably here. Thank you, Ruby.
Yeah, and I
the
agree, and
pattern
I'm with her
always
100%.
the pattern always includes starting with benign pornography use. Why wouldn't you want to like just take a look at that and say, you know what, maybe there's something for me here to look at?
No, I agree. I think there is a bad part of it, and there is a lot that can go wrong in it, but I don't think that's the case for everybody. Like I said, it's substantial on who it is you are dealing with because I have multiple people in my family where we can talk about things and it's normal and that's something, but only to the individual who is going to get obsessed with it or start to do things that are out of character with it. That doesn't mean it's for everyone because personally, I can say that I watch porn and I'm not the type of person who's
Women
going to
don't
be paying for anything.
women don't tend to get to that place, at least not as nearly as fast as
Is
men.
there a reason that women don't get to that place versus men? Like, what's your?
I don't know, probably, but it just men seem to do it way quicker. Also, like women, in my experience, they can just stop looking at porn. Men can't really. They need a lot of help.
Because they have higher testosterone.
How old is your partner, Amanda?
He's the same age as me.
24.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know my hunch here is that if it goes unchecked, it could end up in a place with a similar escalation pattern. It may not.
Yes.
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying is I'm very aware that what it does to families and it's not the same for everyone else, but it's case by case essentially. For Ruby, she has gone through something that is undeniably awful and no one should ever have to go through that. And it's absolutely terrifying and it's upsetting.
In 100% of cases where there's no porn involved, the porn doesn't escalate into something else.
Repeat that for me.
And you have to remember, Amanda, I'm willing to bet money that my husband didn't think that he'd be this person.
In 100% of the cases involved where there's no porn involved, Amanda, the porn doesn't escalate into something else.
You said 100%?
100% of the time, if there's no porn involved, the porn doesn't escalate into something else.
Well, obviously in that circumstance, but what are the statistics of actually watching porn where it has gone into something? I'm pretty sure it's high because yes, it does escalate to a lot of bad things. But what I'm trying to say is you can't group everyone into that because not everyone is going to fit the same criteria.
Yep.
Like anything.
Yeah, I don't think I can reply to this at the moment. I'm a bit too biased and I appreciate that. So yeah, I'll stay quiet at the moment.
And I'm with you, Ruby. I understand 100% what you guys are getting at, that porn does lead to something. And even though a guy says that he's watching something and he says it's not going to go into something and you didn't think it was going to something, that it might, but that's not the case for everybody. You're going to say that's for every single case?
No, I don't disagree. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I've
One
been
person's
seeing,
situation
like,
isn't
with my
everyone else's.
dates. You know, I just started dating again. You know, I'm scared of like, you know, I know that they're gonna be looking at porn or whatever. We're dating, but the moment I was with this lawyer that I was dating, like, I forget, like last weekend or something, he pulled up. I can't say the site name on here because I don't want to get him in trouble. It was like OnlyFans type cam site, and that was the last time I saw him. I knew from there it was going to be an issue, and he's already escalated. And I'm seeing more and more of these spikes because of the advertisements whenever they go to these websites.
Well, yeah, because the more you watch something, it filters out through your phone like an algorithm, and it's like your phone knows exactly what you want to watch, and so
Well,
it
and
pops.
what we look at affects what we desire. What we look at affects what we desire. So the more we look at something, we're going to desire that thing. Like I saw a Chipotle ad the other day on like ESPN.com, and guess what I had for lunch that day? Chipotle. So if you're watching porn, if you're watching something where 88% of the scenes in it depict acts of physical aggression or violence, you're gonna desire physical aggression and violence in your sexual relationships. So, all right, I'm going to move on here. It's midnight. I'm already an hour past the time I said I'd get off. Thanks everyone for the conversation.
Yeah,
Ruby,
thanks, guys.
thank you
Sorry
for
to
sharing.
today, and
put
thank
a
you for the
damper on
support.
things.
You didn't put a damper.
No worries.
Appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, I
Ruby, I
appreciate
hope
you.
that you figure things out, and I wish the best for you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
and to you, and to you all.
Austin, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come up on the live. I think it was yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing. All right.
Thank
Yes,
you,
You're all right.
Austin,
guys.
it's definitely assisted in my mental health at the moment, so thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
Ruby, if you need somebody to talk to, you got other people that are willing to talk to you. I'm one of those people, and I understand where you're coming from. So
yeah, Ruby,
Well, thank you very, very much.
I would highly suggest, Ruby, if you haven't already, get some help for the betrayal trauma that you're going through. Okay, whether that's a therapist, a counselor, a faith community, friends. I have a support group.
Yeah.
You got to be in community right now. It's a very lonely place. It's very lonely. Yeah, and there are tools to help you find your footing.
Thank you.
Yeah, in the first, especially 3 to 6 months or so, it's just you're going to feel all the feelings, and you're not crazy.
Yeah. And it's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult at the moment because we are together, and I know the chat's probably going to blow up in this, and I understand. But it's that two-minded thing of when you've been with someone so long, and when they are in the light and telling you that they're spiraling and they're lost, and not to give up on them. It is a very, very difficult thing to be in. But thank you to all your messages, either positive or negative. And thank you for the support this evening.
Yeah.
Or this morning for me, but this evening for you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sharing, Ruby. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
The book, The Betrayal Bind, is a fantastic book. And again, how do you heal through betrayal trauma? Learning to set boundaries, managing your trauma symptoms, shifting your mindset and core beliefs, finding and using your voice, and asking for what you need is all part of effective treatment. This is from Michelle Mays in The Betrayal Bind. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men dealing with porn or sex addiction, women dealing with betrayal trauma, and couples who are working through betrayal. If you're interested in scheduling a call, you can go to the link in my bio and schedule a discovery call with me. It's a 25-minute call, 30-minute call for $25. We talk about your situation, if I may be able to help or point you in the right direction or a different direction. And I also have support groups, again, both for men and for women who are going through porn addiction or sex addiction, as well as betrayal trauma. It's $99 a month. We meet for an hour and 15 minutes weekly on Zoom, and it's a great place to heal in community, because healing doesn't occur until it's witnessed empathetically. Like Ruby just said, she gained something from this just by sharing her experience. And I don't want to be speaking for you, Ruby, but you were a gift here to us. And what I make of it too, based on your comment, is that you experienced a little bit of healing there. You felt seen. by the people here in this chat. So thank you, Ruby. Healing doesn't occur until it's witnessed empathetically. I mentioned a book about dopamine earlier. What is it called? Dopamine Nation by Dr. Ann Lemke? Something like that. Dopamine Nation. Fantastic book. When did I start doing corn coaching? Professionally, about a year and a half ago. Professionally meaning I started charging for it about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. Actually, about 2 years ago. Unprofessionally, about 7 years ago. When I came clean, when I came out, I was addicted to porn for about 20 years, which escalated into physical cheating on my wife. I'm still married to the same woman. We have worked through it and restored our marriage. I basically got in some support groups, and I was like, how do I put it? The groups kind of sucked. Oftentimes, the leaders weren't clean. They were relapsing all the time. And I'm like, there's got to be something better. There's a lot of good groups out there. Don't get me wrong. But I started leading recovery groups pretty much within about 6 months of when I got clean. And I lead groups locally here in Phoenix. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Typically do them about twice a year. And then about a year and a half ago, when I started creating my own content, I started online support groups. And so it's been about 2 years now, officially. I started the account in January of 2023. Oh, you're in Mesa. Sweet. How's it over in Mesa? Probably terrible. Just kidding. No, not kidding. All right. I am winding down here. If you want to get on here, you got to give me a galaxy. Okay. How many did I get tonight? 3. I got 12 galaxies the other night, and I did a cannonball in my pool on TikTok Live. I'm not going to do that tonight, but I'm just telling you, I'll do crazy things for galaxies. That's what every other TikTok creator does. A lot of corn in Mesa, I bet. Am I a licensed therapist? No, I am not licensed, nor am I a therapist. I'm just a guy that talks about porn on the internet and helps people through it. What do you think of the old... Oh, what do I think of the old me? What a great question. The old me is such a douchebag. Oh, man, I hate that guy. I love that question. I get that all the time. Yeah, I was a real piece of work, right? I mean, how could you like that? My whole life was oriented around making money to impress people that I didn't like, so that I could buy things to just, I used to sell a product that I didn't believe in to people who I didn't like so I could make money to impress people just so I could throw the stuff away that I bought about 6 months later. And by the way, I was cheating on my wife because I was so miserable with my life. I just hated everything about me. And I had to deal with the pain somehow. So, okay, let's just dive deep into porn and having affairs. Okay. I had no relationship with my wife, my kids who were very young at the time, my parents, my sister, no friends. I mean, if you go poll people, and I've done this, just, hey, what did you think of Austin from like 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago? And everyone's like, oh, I hated that guy. That guy really sucked. I'm like, yeah, he did. Right? And so it's like, that guy had to die in order for a new guy to be reborn. All right. Did I have a rough upbringing? Define rough upbringing. I used to say everything was fine, but my whole story unfolded when I came to terms with the fact that I did have trauma. My mom died in a plane crash when I was 5 years old. And I literally used to say this, my mom died when I was 5 and it hasn't affected me. I used to say that line verbatim until I was 32 years old and realized, Austin, this actually has had a tremendous impact on your life. It also might be why you're so addicted to porn and you don't know how to treat women, because you've got huge mom issues and you're trying to medicate a wound, a mother wound. So yeah, I have trauma. I mean, rough upbringing. Based on where I was born, where I lived, you wouldn't say I had a rough upbringing, but did I experience trauma in a very severe way? Yeah, absolutely. So again, the goal, I don't try to help people stop watching porn. I try to help them to start living into a more flourishing life where they're actually coming to terms with the things going on in their life, the traumas they have, the griefs that they have, the things that they need to celebrate, to let go of. Anybody can stop watching porn. That's actually not hard. Porn and sex addiction is not a porn and sex problem. It's a how you deal with life problem. To deal with life in a new way where you're not using unhealthy coping strategies is very difficult. You got to find the root of why are you watching porn in the first place. You have to, if you want lasting freedom. And it is very painful work. Very painful work to do that. Why can't these guys express they love, like, I miss you, I love you? Well, here's why. Here's why for me, because I didn't know how to give or receive love. You can only give as much love as you can receive. And I callous myself off from receiving love. So I had nothing to give. And again, you got to work through that to be able to experience love, to receive love, to say, I am worthy of being loved. But what if both parties watch it now and then? Why? Why would you do that? Now, if you're a woman, if you're a person who has been betrayed, here's the thing. Why are you tolerating this? I'm not saying that you need to leave. I'm not saying that you need to stay. But why are you tolerating what you're presently tolerating? I'll go to my favorite Viktor Frankl quotes. The one thing you can't take away from me is what I choose to respond to what you do to me. The last of one's human freedoms is the choice to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So when you can't change him because you can't, when you can't change the situation because you can't fully, you have to change yourself. That's still a rough upbringing. My mom was in my life. Yeah, totally. I mean, abandonment, no matter how it happens, is terrible. Is your wife still healing? Is she resentful? Look, I believe we are healing. We don't heal. We are just constantly healing. We're trying to get better. That's where the notion of just get better every day. So is my wife still healing? Yeah, so am I. We are still healing. Things are awesome, and sometimes things happen. We're like, you know what? We get brought back into a place where we got to grieve something. We got to take a look at something. We got to be mad at each other. Usually she's mad at me. Yeah, we're not perfect. The goal is not to have a perfect relationship because those don't exist. And that's what I see a lot with couples. Same with myself is the porn is discovered and it's like, see, this is the reason why we have so many problems in our relationship because you're watching porn. Is that a big deal? Yes, of course. It's generally speaking, it's a symptom of other problems that haven't been addressed, that have gone unaddressed for a while. Curious, did you want to come on here? Curious 111. Thanks for the gift. Thanks for the galaxy. Again, if you want to come on here, give me a galaxy and I'll bring you on. I don't see you in the queue. But give me a comment if you want to. Do you guys still get triggered by past events? No. But once you work through it and you bring it all to the light, it's not triggering anymore. Because there's nothing to trigger you. You've talked about it. You've discussed it. You've addressed your concerns with it. How can I help my man overcome this addiction? You can't do the work for him. Average size Drake, yeah, give me a galaxy. I'll bring you on. I'm winding this down, but if you want to come on, you got to give a galaxy. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you can set a boundary. You can set a boundary like, I will not be in a relationship with somebody who watches porn. The difference between a boundary and an ultimatum is a boundary doesn't seek to control somebody else. A boundary declares the action that you will take if an action or request you've made isn't honored. A boundary is all about your action, your behavior. I will leave this relationship if you don't stop watching porn. It's very different than saying, you must stop watching porn. It's saying, no, here's what I'm going to do. Now, oftentimes, again, shame festers in the darkness. It can't stand being spoken in the light. So naming the shame, bringing it to the light, is what will change it. At least part of it. Average size Drake, all right, you did it. Now I got to bring you on. Man of my word.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So I want to say
I don't think porn is necessarily cheating if you have that relationship with your partner. If you and your partner agree or both say that you don't want the other one watching porn, then I think that makes it cheating then. But if you are okay with your partner watching porn, or if they're okay with you watching porn, I don't think that counts as cheating.
I agree.
Yeah, because like like the last girl I was with, I was very we were both open with each other, and we were like, I don't mind if you like watch porn, but the issue is if you are only watching porn and like jerking off. But if you're, have a healthy relationship between yourself and you guys are doing your thing together, as well as watching porn, I think that's the big caveat that people don't realize. But it is really easy to slip, especially as a guy. It's easy to slip into an addiction.
So do you watch porn?
I do.
How often do you watch it?
I'm a single guy right now. Probably
I didn't
every
ask
other.
if you're in a relationship. I asked how often you watch porn.
Yeah, I'm saying every other day, probably.
Okay. Every other day, maybe every day?
Maybe every day, depending on like what's going on.
Okay, so every other day to every day. All right. How long has that been going on for?
Since I probably went through puberty.
So like 12, 13 years old or so?
Yeah, probably.
And how old are you now?
21.
All right, so for almost 10 years, you've been watching porn every other day or so?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. I was just thinking about this though. Do you think masturbation is cheating then? Or is it just watching porn that counts as cheating?
I don't think masturbation is always wrong, so to speak, but I think it can be problematic. I think masturbation, if it's done in secret, a replacement for sex, or with fantasy, those three criteria basically are what, in my opinion, would make it be problematic.
I don't feel like when you're in a relationship, I don't feel like you have to tell them every time you're like, doing your thing. But
do you think your partner would want to know?
I think if you told them like every time, they'd probably be like, "Why are you telling me this?" But
well, only if you're doing it that frequently.
I feel like daily or every other day is not like crazy, especially for like a younger guy specifically. My ex, her and I would do like, I'm not gonna get into that actually, but she did it too. So,
all right. Anyways, back to you watch porn every other day or every day, depending what's going on. Why? What's up, Aaron? Why do you do that?
I don't know. I'm like single man, go to bed, but before you go to bed, squeeze one out.
So you need it to sleep?
No, I don't need it to sleep, but I don't see masturbation as this like horrible thing.
I didn't say that. We're talking about watching porn.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think even watching porn is this horrible thing. It's just you can't let it get control of your life.
Are you in a relationship with your mom?
Yeah.
Does she know that you watch porn and masturbate? To the extent that you do?
Probably. I mean, I haven't told her straight up, but like, I'm not.
Why not?
I'm the second boy. I mean, would you text your mom every time that like you and your wife or whoever have sex? Like
well, my mom's dead. We just went over that.
I wasn't in the.
Okay.
But still, like, assuming she was, would you like text her every time you did anything?
No, I'm just I wouldn't because I don't do that. So, but I'm just curious. You said it's not like a terrible thing. It's not a bad thing. Then why not just be like loud and proud about it? Like go tell all your friends and family, like, hey guys, I watch porn every day.
Because that's not necessary. I don't feel like it's necessary to tell people what you do all the time.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't feel like
disagree, but
post on my Instagram story and say, "Hey guys."
Put it on your resume. Put it on my resume.
Yeah.
A+ masturbator.
Yeah, I don't need to like post on Facebook and like be like, "Hey guys, squeezing one out real quick."
Some people do.
That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Well, do you think you're addicted?
I do not.
Okay.
I like
if
Would you be
I
willing to try stopping for 6 months and seeing if you can successfully stop
you're talking about watching porn or just masturbating?
watching porn?
Yeah, easy.
Okay. Is that a promise?
Sure.
All right. So it's September 22nd. 6 months from now is what? March? October, November, December, January, February, March. March 22nd. Will you make a commitment to me if you watch porn at least one time, and I want to make sure we're clearly defining porn, because I would like thirst traps and all the edge type content all over social media. That's still porn. Okay.
Okay.
If you do it at least one time in the next 6 months, just DM me and let me know. I won't judge you, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. But to go
Okay.
from 10 years of doing it almost every day to nothing, it's probably not going to happen. If it
My
does,
big
great.
thing-
I'll give you a galaxy back.
My big thing is just like I'm not in a relationship right now, but like if I enter one, I'm gonna like I mean obviously without that deal I would have like stopped assuming that she wasn't okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would rather the human connection and to keep like that going. But single guys.
Yeah, but the single guy, like, would you say the same thing about going to a strip club?
No, I feel like strip clubs are just weird.
Well, how is it different? It's a strip club. You're just looking right at the person. Porn, there's just like a piece of glass.
Well, yeah, but you're with like other people, just kind of getting like bricked up with a bunch of other random people. That's kind of weird.
Not always. Many people just go alone. Go to the back room.
I'll say I haven't ever been to one.
Neither
That's
have
just
I. I'm
something
speculating, but
I've just always thought that was weird. But no, it's like I don't know. You're with strangers and stuff, and like you wouldn't do other shit with. Sorry, my bad. You wouldn't do other stuff in front of like strangers. So why would you like go to just watch women dance? That's just kind of weird to me.
you don't think thousands of other dudes are watching the same video. You're just virtually getting bricked up together.
Yeah, but like I'm in my apartment. They're in their house or whatever. We're not
You
in
ever
the
go
same.
on? You ever go on ChatterBait? Be
No.
honest. Omegle. Be honest.
Nope. Actually, Pornhub just got banned in my state. So.
Okay.
Which I don't really care about. Don't matter to me.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else you want to share?
Not really. I just think I wanted to clarify because I didn't want you like saying that masturbation was unhealthy because it's not and it's completely natural. But porn addiction is unhealthy.
I didn't say that.
I know. That's why I just wanted to make clear.
Got it.
That's it. Have
All
fun
right,
with your
thanks for
galaxy.
sharing. 6 months. All right. 6 months.
All right.
All right.
Have a good
Later,
night.
bro. You too. Bye. All right. Yeah, it's banned in, what was it, Texas? It just got banned. See, this is why incognito windows are not bad, because I'm about to Google corn tub banned. I don't want that in my search history. Texas porn laws, why is Pornhub banned? Map shows 16 states. Yeah, it's banned in a lot of states. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. Give me a follow if you like my content. If you don't like my content, give me a follow anyways. Come back and argue with the people in my comments sometime. A lot of perverts in Michigan, Aaron. I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men dealing with porn or sex addiction and women dealing with betrayal trauma. I also work with couples. If you're interested in coaching, go to link in my bio. You can schedule a discovery call with me. If you want to join one of my groups, you can do that in my bio. If you don't want to do any of that, I don't care. I'm from Arizona. Leah, I've said it a million times. I'm getting off, but if you want to get on, you got to give me a galaxy. But it's not going to happen tonight because I'm going to bed. I'm already an hour behind schedule. Aaron, how are you doing, by the way? Are you looking to join to get an addiction? Well, once you get addicted, Jen, I'll be here. I'll still be here to help you get off that. Betrayal trauma is your middle name. Sorry to hear that. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, you never replied to me. Sorry, that sounded a little aggressive. I'm okay. Hope you're doing well, Miss. Yeah, you too. Was that you, Sarah? Hold on. Oh, it's a different Sarah. My bad. Sorry, different Sarah. Someone DM me. Long story. It's not you. What do you classify as an addiction? Good question. The way I answer that question is, do you think it's a problem? Do you want to stop? Have you tried to stop? And can you stop? If you think it's a problem, if you want to stop, if you've tried to stop and you can't stop, call it whatever you want. Is it a problem that you want to work on? I'm more concerned about that, whether or not we classify it as an addiction or not. If you want to find out whether it's an addiction or not, go find somebody with letters behind their name. They'll tell you. They'll give you the answer to that question. If you want to stop and you're ready to stop, let me know. I'll help. Yeah, I'd love to, Aaron. Do you think all who quit should know the last time they watched it or how long it's been? I think it's neat to do that. I think people can kind of put the date on a pedestal, and like the only thing this comes from the book Atomic Habits. Like when you're trying to stop something or quit an addiction, it's like everything becomes about the date. I think it's useful though. For me, the date I use is August 15th, 2015. No, 2017. See, it's not even that important to me. August 15, 2017. Kind of look like David Harbour. Who's that? I've never gotten that before. David Harbour. Oh. Yeah. Okay. You can text me, Aaron. Best podcast that would be close to you. The PBSE podcast is good, and Sam Tielemans has a really good podcast as well. And coming soon, I'll have a podcast as well as courses. I need help with my BF addiction. When you started recovering, did you feel more attracted to your wife? 100%. When do I start my lives? Usually around 9 p.m. Pacific time or midnight Eastern. Sam Tielemans. I think I have him linked on my resources page. If you go to Couples Healing from Pornography Addiction, Sam Tielemans, he's a good one. Do I consider it cheating? I think that if you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've said something like, I love you and only you. Simon, I'm actually going to put that on my resources page. It's not on there under podcasts, but it will be soon. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship with somebody and you've said something like, I love you and only you, mind, body, and soul till death do us part. If you deviate from that, whether it's with pornography or otherwise, I think that is cheating. What do you think? All right, it's on my resources page now. Here's the summary, everybody. My opinion. I'm not asking anybody to agree. Oh, Amanda, you want to come back on here? Is that in-person intimacy is way better than intimacy with a piece of metal or a screen. So why not strive for that? All right, she's not actually there. Hey, who was here for the person who was snoring and we played the baby music? Was that's probably like, Aaron, are you still here? You missed out. Probably one of the best things that's ever happened on my life. Aaron, another thing I did last week is I did a cannonball in the pool after I got 12 galaxies. So I'm getting real crazy. This whole influencer thing's getting to my head. You really did miss out. I do cannonballs. Fully clothed, of course. Yeah, that whole snoring thing was absolute gold. Absolute gold. This happened in my last relationship. Thank you for validating my painful experience. Sorry you went through that. All right. Oh, give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already, would you? And then I'm getting out of here. You have changed my view and thought process. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for sharing, Daniel. Bro, let's go. Let's go. Tell me more, Daniel. Why? What got you to change your mind? Did you guys hear the claps? When I did the claps, did you hear them? Did you guys hear the claps? Yeah, you hear. All right, cool. It was very faint. Well, it's supposed to be pretty quiet. I don't want to blow your ears off. Oh, I need to use that one more. Daniel, do you answer me? Can you tell me anything to stop? Yeah. Stop watching porn. Find the root of why you're watching porn. Find the root of the pain that you're trying to heal from or medicate. All right, everyone. Make it a great day or not. The choice is always yours. Links in my bio. I have support groups for women going through betrayal trauma, men dealing with unwanted sexual behavior such as porn addiction. I do work with couples. We do intimacy workshops. We're doing a whole lot of new stuff here coming soon. So follow me if you want to be kept in the loop. I sometimes think of how people think of me. Yeah. Daniel, I love to chat, man. I love that. Thanks for sharing. By the way, it's not hard to stop watching porn. It's really hard to start living into a new, purposeful, flourishing life. A man without a purpose or meaning in life distracts himself with pleasure. A man without a purpose or meaning in life distracts himself with pleasure. I got a boyfriend tonight. Any advice? Have a talk about porn if you haven't already. 6 years today. Yay. 6 years what? 6 years. I don't know what the 6 years is. Sorry, Aaron. But hey, 6 years. Yeah. Everybody's sick. Oh, Merritt, I was gonna guess. That would have been my next guess. Hey, you made it. Good job, Aaron. All right, last chance. For what? I don't know. For me to go to bed. I still want to square up sometimes. Hey, that makes you normal, Aaron. All right, everyone. Make it a great day or not. The choice is always yours. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.